Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Panther fans by Panther fans. Yes, this is your opportunity to come and let your voice be heard. If you would like to join, I have posted the link to the Streamyard in the chat room. It is also in the comment section of the YouTube and Facebook video. I'm happy to be back here with you boys again, man, having these same conversations. All of us venting our frustrations together, man, because hey, we need each other right now, bro. This is the time when Panther fans have to come together because there's just not a lot to be happy about, man. But I'll tell you what I am happy about. I'm always happy to see my brother CK Cody Allen in the building. What's up, bro?
Oh man, just enjoying the day off, man. Not having to watch the Panthers play is always a positive, which is a weird place to be, considering where we were just 12 weeks ago. It's man, I'm just happy to be here on a Friday night. Don't know how long I'm going to be here, but good to be here with the Friday free for all faithful coming on tonight.
Yes, sir, man. Happy to have you as always. Big time rivalry week for college football. Y'all see, I got my Clemson Tiger apparel. We're taking on South Carolina this weekend, so that ought to be fun. That's actually what I'm looking forward to more than this Panthers matchup. But whatever, we'll get into that. Let me welcome our brand ambassador, the one, the only, Don Diesel Skills. What's up, brother? Happy to have you back on the free for all, man.
Man, glad to be here, brother. Just like CK said, may not be here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time, ready to rock and roll on another Friday night in the C3 Panthers Podcast. All my friends, lots of space on the show tonight, guys. Don't be a stranger. Pull on up. Give us your Panthers opinion. We want to hear what you got to say about this Panthers team. Our bellies may be full and we may be thankful in our hearts, but our win column is almost empty, and we're just hoping for another win for Christmas for these Carolina Panthers. Let's go, Cody.
Absolutely, man. Dude, we're all looking for something to be thankful for. That's why I have titled tonight's show, What Should Carolina Panther Fans Be Thankful For? We'll bring up some of our best memories and just also what we're thankful for when it comes to this team. Is there anything to be thankful for? That's a great question. And I can tell you one thing for sure. There is one person that I will always be grateful for. You know him. You love him. It's none other than the professor himself, Tony Dunn, on the Friday Free for All. Tony Dunn, my brother, happy Thanksgiving. And how are you, man?
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Man, Deez is a poet.
He is, man.
A poet. He's a
that
poet.
That guy has a way with words, brother.
He does.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm thankful for a good community that we've built, or not that we've built alone. I mean, that makes it sound, but that we're a part of, because there's not a lot of good football to be thankful for at the moment. And the Carolina Panthers are just horrendous, dude. And I'm hoping some way, somehow they find a little resolve. They reach down deep into their souls and their heart and find a way to make a thrust to save some pride for themselves.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is we're at that point in the season where it's like you're fighting for your own self-respect. I mean, we're
Exactly.
we're not fighting for the playoffs. We're not fighting for a draft pick. You're fighting to just show that there is some fight left in this team, and that's something we're gonna hope to see. Next up, my man was the first to join today. I love him. He's a great guy. He's out there holding down the West Coast for us Panther fans. It's our guy, Alex, 814 Panthers. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Cody? Happy Friday, C3 fam. One thing I am thankful for, obviously, is friends, family, and then, of course, the C3 fam. Just to be able to get all the bad juju off our chest or whatever we want to get off our chest as Panther fans. But without you guys, without this platform, it wouldn't be possible. So I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all coming on this show and and giving us your takes, man. Y'all make the show. We appreciate y'all. This next man, I think he's always got some fight in him. I can't imagine that he's ever not ready to fight the good fight when it needs to be fought. He'll probably tell you to shut the hell up in the process. It's my man, Panther Pickle. What's up, bud?
It's highly possible that
Oh,
somebody somewhere gets to shut the hell up.
Oh, damn. I hope it's not
told
me.
somebody the other day. Yep, I told a particular fellow at work that, and he told me that I needed a new attitude. And he said his name badge has boss behind it, and I needed a real new attitude. So I
getting a little full of himself.
So I learned that I needed to shut the hell up. Anyway.
Well, how about this? You save all that energy that you would have for your boss, and you can bring it here to the free for all. And you can tell as many people as you want to shut the hell up. I'll never tell you different. But yeah, we appreciate having you. Anthony was trying to join. I think he probably still is. Yo, Anthony turned 21 and said, "Yo, I stay at the bar now." He said, "Yo,
he just live at the bar."
Yeah,
he uses the Panthers' losing seasons as an excuse to stay at the bar. Now we all know that. Oh, Anthony!
Hey, speak of the devil. What up, Ant? Damn, it sounds like you got a million.
Thanksgiving, boys.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, bro. Happy to have you, man. How you feeling, dude? If you can even hear me.
About the team.
The reception's bad. Hey, come back in and come out, Anthony. Your reception.
Go have fun.
Giving you some
instead
hard
of being
time.
depressed here.
Yeah. Be young and drunk and hit on some chicks or something. It sounds way more fun than us complaining together. But hey, man, we appreciate y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for all your C3 Panther podcast updates. Gentlemen, I'm gonna go around the room or around the panel rather. And I know we're in the midst of a lot of hard times. There's not a whole lot to be thankful for when talking about these Carolina Panthers. But before we jump into like all the talking points and things that have gone on recently, what's something that you're thankful for relating to this Carolina Panthers team? You might have to dig deep to come up with something.
How can you even find something?
I know, man. It's hard to do, but I'm going to ask everybody
one thing that is good about this team.
I need one.
I can think of one. I think I could think of one.
Okay.
All right. Well, start us off.
I'm going to start us off. And I think it's just us having a football team. I don't know if that's a big thing or something that, I did hear rumors like a long time, Terpper might move us, all this stuff. So I think I'm just grateful for that. The team's still intact. It's still in Carolina. They're still the Panthers, and there's always next season. I would say that too. That's always there's still half a season left. I also want to say that, what was it? Maybe 20. What year was it when we started off? I think it was like 3-8-1, and we still made the playoffs.
Yeah, 2014.
2014. So there's some stuff to look forward to. I mean, we have a lot of division games. We have Tennessee this week, so I could see a couple wins coming. I know I've been saying that, but I just try to stay positive as far as being a Panthers fan. I try to stay positive on that. So
okay, I like that. Hey, that's better than nothing, man. You know what? You know who I'm thankful for?
Frankie Louvu.
Yes, I am. But I'm also I'm gonna say Johnny Hecker. I'm thankful for Johnny Hecker. Bro, if we don't have one of the best punters in the NFL, bro, then butter my biscuit and call me flaky, man, because I think he's out there doing big things. And homie almost got into a fight this year, or what, some guy flopped on him. I think that was against Miami. But hey, man, at least he's still fighting for something. At least he's still playing at a high level. And no, I do agree with you, Alex. At least we have this team, man. Like, there are people. I mean, we could be St. Louis or San Diego and not have a team. Some people might argue that they're in a better situation.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't have a team in LA for while I was growing up. So I mean, my team was the Panthers. So and I've stuck by them ever since. And yeah, so I mean, it's just great that they're obviously still intact.
Yeah, man. All right, who wants to go next? I need at least one thing, man. I need y'all to dig deep.
I got you.
I know there's something. I got
a couple for you.
Don. Come on, let me hear it.
You know, I always got something positive on my mind, even if things are going bad.
I know you.
I guess the first thing is the development of these young players on the defense. Ejiro Evero has done a good job of developing these younger guys and making them serviceable starters. We didn't really see that under the Matt Rhule regime. But if you look at the play of Sam Franklin this year, you can make the argument that Sam Franklin should be starting over Woods, and that the contract that Sam Franklin carries is of greater value to this team than the one that we gave Woods just a year or two ago. Along with that, we got one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. We may not have an offensive scheme or skilled players to showcase the accuracy of our quarterback, but the fact of the matter is he's the most accurate in the league. I think Justin Herbert's right behind him. So the Chargers should be a better football team than what they are, and so should the Panthers. My hope is that we're able to hold on to this defensive coordinator. If we switch back to a 4-3 next year after being in a 3-4 and all the cuts we made this year, it could be another year or two setback for that defense. I really think we need to stay the course. We've seen some good improvement in that 3-4 this year, and we've seen a lot of young players really step up and show that they want to keep pounding and beat Carolina Panthers, and that's what I'm thankful for, Cody.
Yeah, man, I like that. And to add some context, what Don is talking about, there's a chart showing how Bryce Young is the most accurate quarterback when throwing to wide open receivers. And that is a true stat. He doesn't have a lot of those very many times, but when he does, Bryce Young has been on the money. So that's something. All right, CK, you got something for me, dude?
Yeah, I'm thankful for the Panthers logo in the center of the field.
Oh, all right. Hey, at least it's something. I like that.
Unfortunately on a turf that's causing injuries to all of our players.
Yeah. I want to add one more before you go, Tony. If you've thought of one yet, I'll give you an extra minute if you haven't. I'm thankful that the Carolina Panthers, as trash as we might be, we have the best damn color combination in the NFL, boys. Those past two games that we've been at home, I know Tony says they're cursed and we'll never win wearing the all-black getup. But, bro, if we don't look cold as ice, then no one ever has, man. I think we look damn good every time we suit up, even in some abysmal performances. So,
we just need the
Tony,
black helmet.
Yeah, I know, right? Especially once they
know.
get the black helmet. Dude, that's undefeated. All right, Tony, I bought you some more time. Did you come up with anything?
I got one for you, Tony.
No, I have zero when it comes to this current team. Right now, I'm flabbergasted at really, this is the most hapless team I've seen. I know it's been, I guess, for the entire podcast. And the reason that I say that I can't come up with one at all is because I can't really think of a positive direction going forward other than like hoping that Bryce Young turns out to be great somehow in the future. My thankfulness, though, for this season, or the one thing I am thankful for, is I got to see Julius Peppers go into the Hall of Honor. So, my favorite player. And, I think of when I get to hear Greg Olsen making the calls on the football on Fox, or I see Moose and Pep out there, I think of times where, hey, man, the Panthers really were good in the past. And I'm downtrodden, guys. I'm not going to lie, because I had so in my head pegged so much of our ineptitude as a team around Matt Rhule.
Yeah.
And right now I don't have a direct, like I don't have a North Star. I said at the beginning of this season that Bryce Young was our North Star and we get to chart our course to him. I'm hoping it's cloudy out there right now. It's cloudy in those skies. I'm not ready to pin anything or be negative on him, but I want to chart a course. I want to have a destination. And right now I feel like we're just bobbing in an ocean of just storms. Just terrible high seas and storms.
I'll add one for you, Tony. The cardiac cats have died, and that could be a good thing for people's heart. And somebody said, there's not a lot of heart pumping moments for the Panthers because of these games are not necessarily close. We're definitely not in a great spot. However, at least we didn't look as bad as Washington did on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys.
This show brought to you by Prozac. No,
dude, give us that pharma money, baby.
I tell you, this is man. The Commanders were they just couldn't convert those fourth downs, dude.
But we did, and it was almost an identical situation, except for they got blown out way more than we did.
Did y'all see that Ron Rivera fired 2 people this morning?
Yeah, Jack Del Rio.
Yeah.
But that game was interesting because it was almost a carbon copy of our game where it was close until they made a mistake. And that mistake, it swung from a 10-point game to a 38-point game by the end of it. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, because Dallas is going to score, man. You give them a couple, they get out of that funk in the early. I mean, you can't go blow for blow with those guys.
But that's what I'm saying. Can we say now that Dallas is a real team?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
dude.
that's.
I think they are, but I think they're going to have to overcome their own selves, right? I think they're kind of like, to me, I put them in the category of the Dolphins and the Lions. Is that their own selves are their biggest enemy.
They're good, but you don't really trust them down.
Right.
Yeah.
Could we hire Stephen Jones to be our GM? Is that bad?
Who is that?
Oh, that's Jerry Jones' son.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, they selected Trevant Diggs a few years ago, and they also selected this other cat who's been picking everybody off left and right.
Yeah,
God help the NFC next year when they both get healthy on the field.
Yeah, that dude. And by the way, they were all late round picks, so it's not like they weren't. It's not like they were spending first round draft picks on these guys that are turning around for them. And that's something that seemingly the Panthers never do, is hit on these later round picks, and you end up finding superstars. It seems like we never do that.
If I may say something, I like to be thankful, and hear me out. I like to be thankful for social media in a lot of ways. Back in the olden days, if you weren't living in North Carolina and the team started sucking, you only had you to turn to. Occasionally, you would hear a glimpse on a newspaper or a magazine or ESPN, but they by and large ignored you if you sucked. You didn't have no other fans to cheer for you.
Yeah.
But, or talk to. With social media, you do. You know, and to me, it says a lot more if a fan is living outside of the North Carolinas, and especially right now when they're still a Panther fan. When you're living in California and you're still a Panther fan, that means you have dedication. When you're living like in Tennessee and you're a Panther fan, you have dedication. When you're living in New York or New Jersey or Ohio or anywhere like that, and you're not a Panther and you're a Panther fan, that means you purposely have to go out and hunt something good on your team. You purposely have to go out and hunt something. You can't just talk to folks at work that are Panther fans. A lot of folks you talk to at work, they'll kind of razz you quite a bit about it, Like
that's a great point. That's a great point. Even if you think about like sometimes I feel like the people in Charlotte actually know the least about the football team in some cases.
Yeah.
It's just because I guess they get it on the news, they hear it on the radio occasionally, that it bumps in the team bumps into them in places, and we have to go search it out, for when you're outside of that. So I think that's a great point. And man, you're right. Is going back when I used to do, there's a couple of them, you can still find them on our website. I'd interviewed, tried to do this series. I did probably 6 interviews. Where's that cat now? And I put my history skills to work because I have access to all the databases. And, really, you're talking about the Charlotte Observer from like you're talking in the early 2000s. I mean, you can go all the way. It didn't really change until the iPhone came out, really. It was like the Charlotte Observer, and then you had like Sporting News, and a couple of national outlets every now and then would mention it. But like the coverage was just so minimal in comparison. And now I just think it's wild for everything. And when it comes to football, when it comes to any sport or just life, is like the hyper coverage of events. Like look, I mean, it's the day after Thanksgiving. We've already had a podcast. And it's like, hell, let's talk for 2 hours about why Jaycee Horn may never play for the Carolina Panthers.
It's funny because we were 100% going to talk about that tonight because Jaycee Horn will not be active this Sunday against the Titans. I know, man.
Surprise.
I mean, shit. Let's talk about
Let's
that.
Talk about that. That's what I'm dying to talk about.
Yeah. Let's do it. I was gonna start with the I forget his name now. The Shaq Leonard. Is that his name? Shaq Leonard.
Darius Leonard. Shaq.
Oh yeah, Darius
yeah,
Leonard.
yeah.
Now you got Derek Barnett too out there.
Yeah. And we're gonna talk about whether or not either of those make sense for us. If we should have picked him up on waiver, we were number one on waivers. But no, let's talk about Jaycee Horn, man, because people have already been fighting on Twitter about this. It's been like a topic of conversation. Jaycee Horn, are y'all ready to call this man a bust? Or do we really still have to wait even longer to find out? And when are we going to find out? Do you even want him to return this season?
Listen, I don't
really think it.
I think it's worthy of the conversation, but I think also it's hard to ignore the reality that Thomas Davis would have been in that same category. So the idea of that him being a bust, I don't think you're wrong for having that assumption right now because there's just so much evidence pointing towards it. But I also know that if we let Jaycee Horn walk, we're gonna have, or if we send him to, if he goes to another team, he's gonna basically become like Christian McCaffrey 2.0, but for a defense.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. I once called Thomas Davis a bust, and I said that he would never heal right. He would never gain anything better than he is, and for his own health, we should cut him, and that way the Panthers don't have to take a liability when he cripples himself. And I was wrong on that, so I can't be wrong on this. But I'll say this: I don't think people need to say Jaycee Horn's elite right now. Is he? I don't want to call him a bust, but I'm willing to say that he's right now. There's questions whether he should have been a first-round pick.
Well, he's certainly injury prone, and this is most of my narrative says bust no, injury prone yes, and that's kind of a good way to look at it. I mean, listen, when he has been on the field, Jaycee Horn has been a good player. He was a good player when he was on the field of South Carolina, and he was a really good player. I had him rated as my number one corner.
And now people are making fun of you for that.
Yeah,
I think is bullshit. I think that's just like
revisionist history.
Yeah, and at the same time, but he is. I think Thomas Davis played more in the beginning than
Jaycee.
Yeah, okay. Like I mean, I know Thomas had the two knee injuries, and then I think he had one in. I don't know how many he's had. But I just feel like Horn is just living only off a draft grade. You know what I mean? We just haven't seen him, and it sucks. I just wonder, I wish did they have to just take him off of IR, else they had to do him for the whole season, and then they're trying to see, did anybody think he was coming back? I didn't think he was even going to come back this year. Surgically repaired hamstring.
Well, remember, he was only supposed to be on IR for 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and he's off of IR. He's off of IR now, but he's still not. Like, why did you take him off of IR?
Because I think you have to take him off at a certain point, or else he's IR'd for the entire season.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how
you might as well have IR'd him for the entire season.
That's where I think is the real case in this is It just stinks, man. Is like this is the one thing that you have a hard time. You can't predict in the draft is injuries. And I mean, you're not like you can draft a player and he could, and that's availability is the best ability. I mean, think about this: is the difference? I mean, look at what Micah Parsons is doing. I mean, it's just a top quality player at his position, and he's just been available. And he turns out to be a really cool dude, by the way. Michael Parsons, I like him a lot. But is that Jaycee, or you can't even say Jaycee Horn's good because he really hasn't played enough, Cody, to even say when he was good on the field, he was good. Because that's like 7 games in 2 years.
Yeah.
Or 3 years. 7 games in 3 years. We have 7 more post games to do this year. We have more post games to do this season than Jaycee Horn has played as a Panther.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like he was being beaten deep like CJ Henderson had been. Like it's not like there was a bunch of plays of him looking back. And again, it's like when you did see him, you saw the reasons to be hopeful about what he would have the potential to do. But again, the fact that he's always injured. Let me go to Alex.
I got one question though about it real quick is what happens if you don't pick up his 5th year option, right? Because there's no sense in it. So next year he comes in next year and he plays a full healthy season. What do you do?
Tag him.
Oh, good job. I like it.
Yeah, you have to tag him.
Yeah,
by the way, when do we have to make the decision on whether or not to tag him?
The full year, the year before, like in April, May, like in the first week of May, of the year before the 5th year option takes place.
We have to make the decision on the 5th year option basically before the draft, I think.
Exactly.
This year. But that he's still got a 4th year. So you don't want to pick up that 5th year option if you don't think he's going to play it. Right. Or you don't think he's going to be good because I think that's a guaranteed, so I think you're right. Pickle is if he goes and plays a full season, you tag him and you say, we need one more season to figure out if this is a fluke or if you're out of the injury bug weather.
Yeah. And that's added. That's kind of the scenario when we traded for Sam Darnold, we got him and we almost had immediate because we had to decide by the first week in May, I think it was. And maybe anyway, so you had to make a decision. Either you take the 5th year option and hope he's good, or you don't and use a franchise tag. And Scott Fitter went ahead and used a 5th year option, which ended up being a mistake. So, in Jaycee Horn, what do you do? To me, I wouldn't give him the 5th year option available. But at the same time, it depends on how much that 5th year option is, But still, if they decide not to pick it up, I can't be upset about it.
And remember, cornerback money is expensive. So if you're going to take the top 5 and then find the average of it, you're going to be paying a lot for that 1 year. And keep in mind, this is the same organizations that refuses to pay Brian Burns. We're arguing about whether or not he's worth it, but the Panthers don't even know if Brian Burns is worth it, or else they would have paid him that amount.
They
Alex,
did offer him a contract, so.
Yeah. Alex, what do you feel about Jaycee Horn right now, man?
I mean, I know like what Tony was saying, he's only played 7 games, but just knowing like out of those games that he did play, I mean, literally when he's out there, that side of the field's covered. It's like it's not a question. I feel like he's shown enough to where I'm like, okay, he could cover the best guy. He covers his own on that side of the field. As far as paying him and stuff like that, it's tough. I mean, I personally would do the 5th year because of like what you said, Cody. If you tag him, you're going to be paying him a lot of money anyways. So it's kind of like, I'd like to keep him on our team and then for that extra year. And then I'm sure there's other guys I think Corbett's going to be a free agent. There's going to be a lot of other free agents that we're going to have to move around. So I would like to lock in Horn. At least we know Yeah, I know he's injury prone, but those injuries haven't been like, they're not serious injuries. Just like Christian McCaffrey's injuries, they weren't serious injuries. They were just little nicks and, I mean, the hamstring was pretty bad this year, but other than that, I think they just kind of been freak injuries.
Well, and that's another thing too. Christian McCaffrey hurt all the time with the Carolina Panthers.
He goes there and
goes to San Fran, and the dude is invincible. Like, I mean, it's getting crazy. Like, and it makes us point out and question, like, do we have a problem with our training staff, with our strength and conditioning staff? Like, why is it? And look, I know it's football, and I put this on Twitter too. I know it's football, and it's a violent sport. Like, of course you're gonna have injuries, but bro, it seems to me like we're sure as shit injured a lot more than most other teams, man. Like, we stay injured, and our best players are the ones that's getting injured, man. I don't understand this. Is this the turf? Is it the training staff? I don't know what we're missing here, man.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I also think if the team was in playoff contention, like McCaffrey, like if our team was in a playoff race at the time, I think McCaffrey would be playing those games. But there was a lot of games where it was just like our record. We were already 3-8, 3-9. Like, there was just times where it's like, all right, we're just gonna sit McCaffrey. I think there was times where he could have probably played, but it's just we were out of contention. So that's what I think.
The team's lack of actual competitiveness really lacks the desire for some of these players to. Once they already get injured, they're like, do I really want to go back out there on the field and get hurt again potentially for a team that's going to win like 5 games this year?
Yeah. By the way, that's my man JJ. What's up, JJ? How you doing?
I didn't have my headphones on, so I didn't know if I missed my intro or not.
No, you're good. You're all good. Hey, before you go, Pickle, our boy Muscles Marinara says, "The hell with the Stroud talks. How about that chicken cutlet some bitch Tommy DeVito? This Paisan showed the F out, boys. We should have took him for free. Oh shit, Tommy DeVito. Hey, bro. What team does Tommy DeVito play for again?
Giants.
Oh, Giants. Okay, my bad. Tony, you're muted, by the way.
If I had to pick a rookie quarterback to go with, an undrafted rookie quarterback, it'd probably be that kid from the Bears. I just wasn't impressed with Tommy. I mean, Tommy DeVito, though, it sounds a cool name. I have to be honest with you, but I think Agent. I like Agent better. I found this link. Jaycee Horn's, because he never made it to a Pro Bowl, his 50-year option is only like 11.9 million.
Pick it up.
For comparable to Lamar Chase's 50-year option is very near to be. It's 22.9 million.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean,
Taylor's 50-year option is 23.2 million.
But also, there's no trade market for him either. Because they've been injured, it's like no one's going to trade you anything that's actually going to make up for his absence.
You'll get a day 3 pick like the Lions.
Yeah, so it's not perfect point. It would be just like that, and it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it at all. So, Don, tell me what you feel about Jaycee Horn, man. Like, do we need to push the panic button? Or are we just worried that this dude will never be healthy for as long as he's a Panther? Do you want him to come back this year? How you feeling, man?
Oh, I keep flip-flopping on him, to be honest with you. I think I've changed my mind about Jaycee Horn like 3 times this season. It's tough to put my finger on it because the guy had a broken wrist last year that held him out, and he looked really good last year. On top of that, in his rookie year, it was a broken ankle. So, I mean, broken bones, I don't know how much we can fault JC for, especially when one of them was Chin's helmet into his wrist. But the hamstring thing, that makes you go back to the Christian McCaffrey. Like, how much of that is there's no point in putting you out there on a non-competitive team, and how much of that is we need you out there because we're not competitive, so I need you to find a way to get on the field. That's tough. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but Pickle saying like 11 million to hold him over for another year. Man, I don't even know. We only got 55 next year. Do you want to sink a fifth of that into Jaycee Horn? I don't know if you do or not, because look at this. Okay, here's my argument against it. All right, in the 4-3, especially ran by Wilkes, we needed Jaycee Horn badly because he was in single coverage, and that's one of the reasons why he didn't make the playoffs last year, because he wasn't available in those last couple of games. But on the other hand, Evero runs this hybrid zone scheme, and Jaycee Horn could have had an all-pro year this year, then there would be no question about, his productivity on an improved scheme or being a better fit towards it, because I feel like we've come up with more interceptions this year than we did last year, at least for the most part, in zone coverage, guys just kind of being in the right place at the right time kind of thing. So if JC had played this year, I feel like we would have seen an uptick in his numbers and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it was a bad hamstring injury, which was what was said at the beginning of the year. I think he just explored other routes to see if he could come back. And now we're figuring out that, it's really not going to happen. But he did try. He did try to come back. So maybe we should give him credit for that. And I like the first thing that we said, that Pickle said, let's let him ride that last year out. And if we need to tag him because he has a breakout year, then we tag him. I think that's the better option, Cody.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most reasonable, logical thing to do. Like I said, we really don't have much other options but to just hopefully, he stays healthy at some point and he gets on the field for an extended period of time. Let me welcome Al the Sailor. Al, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going, man? Happy belated Thanksgiving, brother.
Yeah, happy
Everybody on
Thanksgiving
the panel.
too,
What's up with my dog Al? What's good?
What's up?
But
Hey,
I think we should. Yeah,
what about JC, man? Jaycee Horn, how you feeling?
yeah, man. If we got him for the next year, just tag him. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? It's not gonna hurt,
Right.
We just tag him and then see if he can stay healthy or whatever, and just pray for the best, man. It sucks, because his injuries are kind of like freak injuries, but still though, suck for the player. But sucks for the player, but you got to be available. You got to be available to play this game, and
absolutely. The best ability is availability. And by the way, our boy KG73s says, he tore the fuck out of that hammy. He ain't coming back this year. That's what it feels like, man. Like, to me, it feels like the Panthers have known that it was more severe than they wanted to admit. But because he already had this injury-prone moniker around him, they're like, they don't want to do the actual thing that's necessary for his health right now, which probably would have been to put him on IR.
But, let's also think about this. You're paying Jaycee Horn 11.9, basically $12 million, right, for his fifth-year option. If you end up tagging Brian Burns, you're going to pay him $20.9 million. Two people taking up that much of your cap. You got to make choices. In other words, if you're in that situation, do you make one of your choices? As I said it on Spaces Thursday, one of your choices is, do you save $3 million by going ahead and cutting Austin Corbett, who will miss basically a full year, and next year is his last year under contract? So do you go ahead and save $3 million by cutting him because you're already spending $20 million on Burns, and that's just at 20.9 franchise tag. That does not include anything other than that. Or like if you sign him to a deal because he wants more than $20 million. So
Yeah.
So I mean that's your choices you've got. So you're going to have to make cuts, or you're going to have to adjust something to fit all these folks, your needs and your desires under a cap situation.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're going to end up being in the position where we're going to have to overpay players that the organization feels like they really don't want to pay at all. But hey, let's jump onto this, man. We were talking about some of these waivers. Shaq Leonard. By the way, the Panthers are the number one on the waivers list. So we have a right to claim these players off of waivers literally before anyone else. Shaq Leonard was released by the Indianapolis Colts, and the Panthers. Hang on, he was released by the Indianapolis Colts, and the Panthers let him go. We didn't pick him up. He's probably going to end up signing with the contender. Then today we learned the Eagles are releasing former first-round defensive end Derek Barnett. He goes on waivers. Now, this is another position of need that the Panthers have really been hurting for. One, are you disappointed that they didn't bring Shaq Leonard to the Carolina Panthers? And number two, do you even think they're going to attempt to bring a Derek Barnett here? And would you even want that in the first place? I'll let it go to anyone who.
I wouldn't pick up Derek Barnett at all. And I know there's your former first round pick. This guy has missed more. He's basically Jaycee Horn on the defensive line without the talent. I know I'm sorry. He's been hurt more than was hurt, and then he only played defensive end in a 4-3. He doesn't have the type of speed you need to play linebacker in a 3-4.
You know he's a Tennessee Volunteer, Pickle.
That's why I'm making the comment.
Okay.
I know. I've kept track of his career because I wanted him when we drafted him, or when the Eagles drafted him. But I've watched his career closely. He's hurt more than he's healthy. I know, as a Tennessee Volunteer fan, I'm telling you, folks, we don't want to pick him up.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Take it as you would.
I wouldn't pick up anybody right now unless we absolutely need somebody. But this season's pretty much to develop our young guys. I think there's no need to pick up veteran players. We're not in position to technically we are still in the playoff hunt, but let's be real. So to pick up veteran guys.
My bad, bro.
No, it's all good. But yeah, to pick up veteran guys, I just don't think it's what we need to do right now.
Has Shaq Leonard, has he declined so much, Pickle, that's why they cut him? And has he declined that much, or is it just an injury? Or
Shaq Leonard hurt his back a couple years ago, and he's been basically out for 2 years over a back injury. Now he was basically on the field some this year, but he was a backup, and those in front of him for the Colts were a better option for them. So he
was the highest paid too.
He politely threw a fit, and he was the highest paid player on the roster. He politely threw a fit because he was a backup. So out of respect for him, they went ahead and released him. Let me put it this way: in the last 6 years, he played one season, and that was 2021. And since 2018 through 2023, he didn't play in all the games. He only made one season where he was played all 16 games.
To be fair, though, he has made like 3 or 4 All-Pro teams. So
yeah, now I'm not saying he ain't good. He's very talented.
And by the way,
he's played enough to make those teams.
Yeah, and again, the injuries are one thing, but also consider
100%. But 100%, Cody.
That Shaq Thompson. Let's be real. Shaq Thompson played his final snap as a Carolina Panther. You know that you need those inside linebackers to be able to actually run your 3-4. I know if you want to question the injuries, that's one thing. Maybe if you want to question the contract, that was another thing. Eventually, he was going to be owed like $18 million, I think, in total for the year, I thought. And
damn, Shaq didn't pay like that, bro.
Yeah, dude, he got a contract. He got the bag with the Colts. So, I mean, I don't know. I understand why.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking about Thompson. I was thinking about Thompson. My bad.
But let's be real though. He's also 28 years old. He'll be 20. Shaq Leonard will be 29 years old before the season starts next year.
Even before,
then you have to re-sign him to another contract. If you can't, you pick up his current contract. If you would have picked up Shaq Leonard's current contract, he's $6 million this year. His contract He's like 16 million next year.
Yeah,
Do
then
you
it
want to go that
doubles or
route?
something like
Do you
that.
want to go that route on a 28, 29-year-old who's had multiple injury histories? The best thing this team could have done was not pick him up, because if he comes here and he plays for this year, you're going to take away snaps from younger guys who may need it. And then even if you cut him next year, then you owe him that dead money.
Yeah, and
Yep.
unless those guys can block for,
Yeah, that's a fact.
Bryce Young, then I really don't care about the defense so much.
Yeah.
So,
Can he
I
play
don't
left
think-
tackle?
I don't think that's a good way to look at it, with all due respect, because if I've heard that for years, and I guess maybe it's my biasness for having so many head coaches who were defensive guys. John Fox, Ron Rivera, they always understood the fact a strong defense makes your offense better. If we had, it's just a fact. So
It really does.
But that's just my opinion. So
The fucking Panthers had a big loss today. They fucking they won, but they lost their DN, Jalen Phillips. He tore his Achilles.
You mean
Who?
the Dolphins? Yeah, you mean the Dolphins. You said Panthers.
Oh, I mean the Dolphins. My bad. Yeah, the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins.
JJ, you mad we didn't sign Shaq Leonard, and do you want us to sign Derek Barnett, who also got released from?
Nope, neither. And I'll tell you what about Shaq Leonard too. Even before his injury history for the past 2 years or 2 seasons, I would say he wasn't even the best in coverage. What really made him amazing was he was a turnover machine, but now you decline a little in athleticism from your injury history and you increasing in age. He's going to want to go somewhere where he could get a little bit of money and can compete. This clearly ain't the place for that. So, and Derek Barnett is a no thank you.
Booty cheeks. That's what JJ was trying to say.
He was good. He was good for one season. Like,
His
some okay
rookie year,
seasons.
he helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl, but
Yeah, he had some okay seasons.
yeah, he
But
was.
I don't know if he's washed up. He's washed up.
I
mean,
don't think it's that he's washed up. I think that first they have a lot of good players on that team. That's one
they
thing.
got fucking studs on the D line, bro.
I think
Definitely,
the other is
Tony.
I think it might be a little bit of character issues, and just maybe when I say character, I mean that could be so loaded. Maybe personality in a certain sense is they've always had this weird relationship between them and him. It's just been kind of odd because he has been productive. They drafted him very high, and it just seems like they were ready at any moment to reduce his snaps, and he wanted to get more and more. So then he would get in there and he'd have a penalty or something like this, like a personal foul. And it's just, so there's something with the fit there. But I tell you, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of with Alex on this. Is like, unless it's adding to the offensive line, I don't really give a crap. And for me, it's just like our other teams' cast-offs right now. What we need is this just another name that comes across the board. I mean, we could use an edge guy. We could use somebody but you have to see them beyond this season. Like, you really have to have a vision for anybody that you add right now beyond the season, because this season is a bust. It's a wash. Yeah. And so, like, if you're just bringing in somebody to win a game or be a little bit more competitive next week, miss me with that. But if you see a guy that just is in a place where a team, I don't know, I just don't trust. I don't understand these waivers at this point in the season. It's not like these teams are saving money by doing it.
Right.
No.
I just don't get that part.
Yeah.
I just looked up on over the cap. Derek Barnett's contract, I guess where he signed this year, his cap number this year is only $2.2 million. So that's what we would pay. But he has a voided year next year, and you're going to have $3.9 million against your cap next year, and he ain't going to be here. So that's automatically almost $4 million against your cap next year, and he won't be here. That's when the voided year contracts. So, no, neither one on either.
Yeah, I'm with Tony. It doesn't make sense. Like, at least it's depth. I mean, for the Colts, It's like, yeah, their season's over. They're not going to the playoffs. But the Eagles probably are. Like, you don't want the pass rush rotation. Like, I know they drafted the other kid out of Georgia this past draft. I forget his name right now. But
Carter.
Yeah, Carter. But I don't know, man. Like that's just weird to me. Do y'all remember when the Panthers were supposed to draft Derek Barnett, and Panther fans had kind of resigned themselves, like, okay, we need the defensive end. That's probably going to be who we end up drafting.
Yep.
And yeah, like everybody thought that's who we were going to draft.
That's why I thought it was. So.
What year was that? Pickle, was that 2020?
The 2017 draft.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, it's a while. He's been in the league for a minute, bro.
That McCaffrey draft.
Yeah.
Mm.
He went in the 20s to the Eagles, or 15, 20.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. There was wasn't it 2018?
Nah, because he was there for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl year was his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, but then that can't be right, because we weren't talking about taking the top 10, were we?
No.
I
We never talked
there was
about
a lot of talks that the Panthers.
He was drafted April the 27th of 2017.
Oh, you're right then.
By pick
he had
the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, he had a little bit of top 10 buzz. Like, not a lot, but
yeah, it was him, and then the guy that went to I think there were some people that went to the
Arizona. I
think
remember
Commanders took Allen that year, maybe, or would that have been the year they took Chase Young?
What? No, Chase Young. That was like a year or two ago. Like, that wasn't even.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
That was the Herbert year. No,
that was 20.
I think it was Josh. Was it Jonathan Allen? Jonathan Allen is who I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That was
Washington
the
pick.
McCaffrey draft.
Yeah.
We drafted McCaffrey at 8. And that's Hassan Riddick went to Arizona, the pick before the Eagles took Derek Barnett.
Yeah.
That's wild. The Eagles didn't get Hassan Riddick because he was taking the pick before Arizona. They released, but now Hassan Riddick takes Derek Barnett's job.
That's pretty crazy, man. Yeah,
Derek Barnett go to Arizona.
He should take Shaq Thompson's job, honestly.
There's like a lot of people that take Shaq Thompson.
Yeah. But look, let me first take a moment, man, to thank the sponsor of today's show. We're talking about PrizePicks.com. And listen, man, what we would like everybody to do, if you would like to support the C3 Panthers podcast, is go to PrizePicks, download the app, and all you have to do is use that C3 promo code. Download PrizePicks today. Play daily fantasy sports with us, and make sure you use the promo code C3 when you sign up. All first-time users that deposit $100 will receive a 100% deposit match of up to $100. If you deposit 100, PrizePicks will give you 100. If you deposit 50, PrizePicks will give you 50. Bro, get on this money, man, because there's too much of it going around for you to not get on the action. And, bro, some of these that they have are pretty embarrassing, man. They got DJ Chark at 2 receptions, 2 of them.
The Tennessee Titans have the arguably the worst secondary in all of football. So
we're still gonna get whipped.
Oh
no, we're not. No, we're not.
I think we get the W this week.
We're winning.
Tony, help me out. Do we see anything on here that's even like worth looking at, man? They got DJ Chark at 2 receptions. They got fantasy scores for Bryce and Chuba. They got 203 passing yards for Bryce. Now that number has actually gone up, because when we did this on Tuesday, I believe Bryce was at I think 200 or like 195 or something like that. So I don't know. They're telling you what they think about us. They got Adam Thielen 64.5. What
Mm.
y'all like any of these, or is this just a bunch?
I mean,
of
I would
whatever?
go. I mean, I hate to say it, but the less than on DJ Chark is probably what's going to happen. I mean, that's sad to say. Is this guy has had one? I can't remember the time he had multiple catches in a game. I think Thielen more than is the best play.
So against Miami and Houston, or no, against Detroit and Miami, he had 3.
This is crazy. I mean, I'd probably stay away from him, you know what I'm saying? Just period.
Mm-hmm.
Man, don't bet on DJ Chark. He's not going to get you no money, Tony. Please don't do that, bro.
Yes, he will.
He's not going to get you no money, bro. No, he won't.
I was about to
He
say,
had 0 yards last week.
How about Eddie Pinheiro?
I don't know how they calculate fantasy score.
I don't either.
So
I knew that.
I could tell you right now. At least this is how most of them do it. 30 yards is 3. 4 points for a 40-yard field goal, 5 points for a 50-yard field goal, and 1 point for every extra point.
Yeah, and if you miss, I think it's a -1 or -2. Something
That
like
I did not know. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
See,
If you miss,
I don't ever hit. I don't do the fantasy score.
But I would never bet on a kicker. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, I don't like doing the fantasy score thing. All right, here's what I'll do, man. I'll do.
Why don't you go look at the Titans?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Because I mean, I'd
they're
be
gonna get
curious
locked
to
up.
see. I would go Thielen and you're gonna go Shark. Oh, more,
dude.
Yeah,
Two.
2 catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that.
How
But
many
yeah,
catches do you have
but
last week?
it can't just have 2. JJ,
He's gotta have 3.
Yeah.
So how many catches did you have last week?
2.
2 on the
How
money.
many the week?
Who was that, Chark? Who was that, Chark?
Yeah.
We talking about Chark or Thielen?
When was the last? When was the last time he had over 2 catches?
Against
Indy.
against Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Yeah, 3.
Before the
3.
bye.
This
Damn.
poor
And
guy.
don't
guy's
don't
gonna
bet with
finish
that
the
guy,
season
bro.
with
I
20
wouldn't, but
catches.
it's not my money.
Fucking bet on that dude, bro.
And remember, this
we
dude
don't
bet
have a
on
quarterback.
himself. This dude bet on himself.
I-
He signed a 1-year deal. He was looking for more.
Yeah. It shows you he sucked.
Yeah,
He
he's not
sucks
going to be a
at fantasy
Panther
football.
next year.
Yeah,
But I kind of want to take more on
what
that.
is
I'm
Chuba
gonna be
Hubbard's
real.
number? What is Chuba Hubbard's number?
They don't even have a rushing yard. They just
Well,
have a
he did.
fantasy score.
Oh,
Yeah, they just have a 10.5 fantasy score. Y'all think Thielen is good for 64.5?
yeah, I mean that's like the only
Yeah.
guy that I would be confident in is Thielen.
Yeah, that's the only one I would play to.
Dude, we might see like the first time in history 5 DBs on one guy and then nobody.
yeah. We'll have a backup linebacker on the rest of them.
Oh man.
Let's look at the Titans real quick. If this will work for your boy, but it probably won't.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Bryce Young's gonna have to get the ball out quick. I mean, he's got two offensive linemen out.
I like
mean,
D Hop for more than 4.5 catches.
Oh, wow. He hasn't gotten that in the past 5 games.
Wow.
Well,
That's crazy. Well, guess what? This is a team he could do it against.
you know,
What
this
about
is
Derrick
Carolina
Henry
has
rushing yards?
everybody's get right game.
Yeah, right.
Derrick Henry rushing yards
right.
is probably a good more than because he's been low for a long time.
What do they have him at?
Let's see. I can't see.
69.5.
Yeah.
69. Yeah, he'll get about 50 yards rushing. Maybe he'll probably get about 75 to 80. So I'll take that.
one. Our defense sucks. If they get a hit now, I mean, what's going to happen is this. What is this going to be? The one time the Panthers get out and get a lead, and then they're going to be passing a lot. I think I would go more on that. That's what I would fuck with.
Yeah, I'm gonna go more with that. Yeah, like 75 to 80. That's what he's gonna get.
Oh, but they also got this one too. 0.5. All he has to do is get a passing, rushing, or receiving touchdown.
Wow. Y'all want to hear what the Tennesseans have
both.
said about the Panthers and the Titans?
Yeah.
It says
Yes.
that, the Titans, Levis has been one of the few bright spots for the Titans. throwing for 857 yards and 6 touchdowns with a 83 or an 89.3 passer rating in 4 games. But the Titans are 1-3 in his starts. Young hasn't fared quite as well, throwing 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions with a 74.4 rating in 9 games. Both of their lone wins came on October the 29th. It's coincidentally Young's coming against one of Titans' division rivals, and Levis coming against one of Panthers.
All right. Anthony, what's up?
What's going on, boys? Sorry about that. I'm back, but good to be here, man.
Hey, you're just
Anthony,
in time.
what's up, bro?
You're just in
How
time.
you doing in school, Anthony?
Help me lose some
I'm
money.
good. I'm
bro.
on Thanksgiving break actually right now, but yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say, Cody?
No, I'm just looking at some of these Titans numbers, man, on PrizePicks. They got Will Levis at 29.5 pass attempts. DeAndre Hopkins at 4. So, all right, let me ask you all this: Who would you predict to have a bigger bounce back game? DeAndre Hopkins catching the ball, or Derrick Henry rushing the ball?
Who's going to stop Derrick Henry?
Henry.
Who's going to stop? What guy on our defense is going to stop Derrick Henry? Not counting Derek Brown, because he's the only guy that can do it.
He's the only guy who can do it. Yeah, Derek Brown is the only guy who can do it. No, Derek Brown's the only guy who can do
Nobody's
it.
going to stop Derrick Henry.
Hey, but am I crazy for thinking it'd be better to take the 0.5 on a touchdown rather than 69?
I would do both.
If you were the offensive coordinator of the Titans and Derrick Henry and Tajah Spears were running without basically anybody to stop them, why would you throw the ball?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's just my opinion.
What is this?
I don't do I don't do this. So
this is Will Levis pass.
What? Pass attempts. Okay. Okay.
I mean, that's not the against Jacksonville. He only had 17, but we don't have the defense Jacksonville does. I don't think.
I mean, Tony Pollard had 61. Tony Pollard last week had 61 yards rushing against the Panthers.
And he got a touchdown too, right?
He had a touchdown as well. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I mean, he only had 12 carries, though. So, I mean, I know they'll probably run it a lot more with Derek. But, yeah, it's just Carolina's honestly a little underrated on the defensive side of the ball. They're not horrible.
They are. They're not bad, bro. We're not bad on defense. We just don't get no offensive. We don't get no offensive play, bro. Offense sucks.
The Panthers' offense isn't working right now. They rank in the bottom 10 in scoring yards per play per game, passing yards per play per game, rushing yards per play per game. Young ranks last in the NFL in yards per pass attempt and ranks ahead of only Las Vegas rookie Aiden O'Connell in QBR rating.
Wow.
That's just,
all right. So this is what I went with, man. Y'all might think that I'm crazy. Maybe I am too. DJ Chark, I got at more than 2. God help me. What am I thinking? Adam Thielen, I got more than 64.5 receiving yards. I got Derrick Henry at more than 0.5, either passing, rushing, or receiving touchdowns. And I got Will Levis at less than 29.5 pass attempts, man. If y'all want to get in on this action, you can do so very easily. All you have to do is download PrizePicks today, play daily fantasy sports with us, and make sure you use the promo code C3 or use the link in the description down below when you sign up. All first-time users that deposit and use our C3 promo code will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. If you deposit 100, PrizePicks give you 100. And if you deposit 50, PrizePicks gives you 50. Appreciate PrizePicks. That's the sponsor, man. Y'all want to help us out? Check them out. Get in on that Monday. I feel like a lot of fans are kind of thinking we have a chance this Sunday. If you're one of those people, why are you believing that?
I mean, this offense isn't one that I'm super worried about. However, I'm in belief that there is going to be a game that is going to push that. That Bryce can't continue to look like this, right? There's got to be a few games he can put on film in his rookie year that is going to make him look like he was worthy of being picked in the first round, much less than the number 1 overall pick. So I mean, there's hope because of the fact that this isn't a defensive juggernaut. The offense is going to be a little easier to keep up with. So yeah, I mean, there's some hope, with this year. I mean, this week, but am I going to be putting my paycheck on it? No.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. But I mean, again, it's like that rushing attack. We think that we have a good defense, but are we built to stand up to Derrick Henry and that offense? And again, they have not been very effective. And Pickle was telling me yesterday. Pickle did the Spaces, and he was saying that Titans fans, they're upset with their squad, and of course they're not doing good, so that's not surprising. But Titans fans think that they could lose to us.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. I think as far as like a game where we see Bryce and the offense explode, I don't know if we'll see that this year, possibly, but the way we're going to win this game is just not turning the ball over. I think if we don't turn the ball over, we run the ball effectively and, play good defense, maybe get a couple turnovers, I think we could win this football game for sure. But it's going to have to be like one of those games like how we played Houston, where it's like it's a perfect game where no turnovers on our end. And, we just that's how it's going to have to be, because we're not going to score 30 points. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Just to let this out, right now the Titans will draft 6th.
Yeah.
6th in the draft.
They got
a lot of Titan fans want to lose so they can get a better draft pick. That's the reason why they're all in draft mode. They like Levis, but there's other positions that they want to take. Some of them think if they get high enough, they'll take a quarterback instead of Will Levis, but I don't think that's going to happen. But
no,
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He's a quarterback now, bro.
Yeah,
he's a quarterback now, bro.
I think that they're going to give him at least one more year to try and prove himself. But and also, I think it was you telling me, Pickle, that they have a difference between the GM and the head coach and what they want to do, and how they want to build the team.
Yep. How crazy is it that
I think he's been very capable so far too, Will Levis.
Yeah, I agree.
It would be foolish of them to give up on him. Not to give up, to not to even think of something else, because he's come in there, and if anything, Malik Willis is the bygone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
I think their biggest problem is their defense. I really do believe that. So, but
how y'all think this offense stacks up against that defense? Keep in mind, they got Jeffrey Simmons right in the middle of their D line, looking to feast on whatever poor schmuck we're trotting out at left guard, and Bradley. But dude, Bradley is just not having a good. He's not having a fun go of things, man.
If our offense can get to 7, if our offense can get to 17 to 20 points, bro, we should be good. But our offense can't get to 17. We score 13 points a game, some crazy stupid number. I don't even know the numbers. I'm just saying, from what I've been watching, we score 13 points a game, bro. Come on, man, we can't win like that.
The Titans has the league's lowest quarterback pressure rate. They pressure the quarterback less than Carolina does. So
yeah, we have what is it?
They allow a pressure rating against north of 100.
Well, this is good news. I mean, this is a team that we can match up against. Is the Panthers have. It's only been in the last 4 or 5 weeks that we've gotten to the point where we're we can't beat anybody. You know what I mean? The games early in the season were close. There were moments that, look, Bryce was starting to play with a little confidence. I think, if anything, man, the good news is maybe the defense has been playing at some of its better over the last couple of weeks. And if you could just take away Derrick Henry a little bit, he's aging. You could slow him down. You're going against another rookie quarterback. You got to worry about, I mean, he's had some moments where he's made big plays. So you're going to have to limit some of the big plays. But if their defense isn't good, is that this is a time the Panthers can put something together. And if you got to do it here, right? You got to do it here and make a stand before too late in the season. Sadly, I'm talking myself into liking the Panthers on this Sunday.
You know what, Tony? I almost hate these matchups more than if we were playing the Cowboys or something.
Right.
Because it's like, at least the Cowboys, that we're going to get trudged. Whereas when you hear stuff like, the Tennessee Titans, they have a worse pressure rate on the quarterback than the Panthers do. And then they're going to come in, they're going to do exactly that and make us look even more ass, dude. It's like, it's even more embarrassing. Like, did you know against the Bears, I believe I'm saying this right. Forgive me if I'm not. I think the Bears, never in their history did they have like a shutout, or maybe not in their history, but it had been a long time since their defense stopped an opposing offense from scoring at least one touchdown or something like that. And it's like, of course that happens against us. And they're a bad team this year. So I don't know. I dread these matchups even more. Do I think Carolina can win? Yeah, I do. But I just don't know what this offense does. Like, did you think that they're going to run the football more because of that drive they put together last week, that 17-play drive, and they ended up scoring for a touchdown? Like, does that change things?
Yes, it's got to.
Yeah,
it's got to. I mean, both Chuba and Miles Sanders are running better in the past couple of weeks than we've seen all year. We've tried the wide receivers. We have given the quarterback 11 weeks of trying to do something that was assembling some sense of
shit, and you can't do shit, CK, and you can't do shit, bro. I mean, come on, man. All right, I'm gonna let you talk. Finish up.
Yeah, I mean, but this past 2 weeks our wide receivers, our running backs have actually looked decent. So, I mean, that's my personal opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of with CK on that one too. I'm kind of along the same lines, right? Austin Corbett came back, and before every play, you'd see him pointing out pressure on the defense. Bradley Bozeman raising his head up, being alert, looking to what Corbett was pointing out to him, getting us ready. Hell, we even outrushed the Cowboys, and I would have bet plenty of money on the fact that we wouldn't have been able to do that. But the fact it was 110 is what we had, and the Cowboys had 107. So we actually outrushed the Cowboys in that game, believe it or not. And the problem with that is Austin Corbett's back out, guys. He was the glue that was holding together this line. He helps Bradley Bozeman perform so much better, in my opinion. And with him being out, K-Mays being inserted, Zavala should have never been reinserted back into that lineup. The Panthers have gone out of their way to prove the fact that Zavala's not ready to start in the NFL and needs to sit and develop, but yet we put him on the field. Not only did we do that, we cut Throckmorton, so there's nobody else there except for Nash Jensen that I'm aware of. So Cade Mays and Zavala go into this matchup, and we expect to have some kind of rushing attack against these Titans. And once again, the pressure, right? So the Bears put up like 29 pressures against the Panthers, like their season high for sure. Not only that, the Colts come into that game with the lowest sack rate in the league, but they ended up doubling up their efforts before the game was over. I don't have a lot of faith in this O-line in Carolina. We've got to change the scheme, or we've got to change the players, one or the other, and hopefully to God we change this GM before too much longer, because I've had just about as much as I can take of this feeble offensive attempt that we run out each and every Sunday.
I heard that. And it's also so simple, D's, because it's like, why not run the ball more? Like, even our attempts are down. And even when we do rush, it's up the A-gap, straight up the gut on first and second down doing the same thing. Now you're putting your quarterback in third and long scenarios. You're missing now your left guard and your right guard. So it's like you're putting everybody behind the curve when you refuse to do what your offensive line is built to do best. And
it gets even more intricate than that too, right? So last week was the first time we run outside zone running scheme. It's been inside zone all season long, and that's why everybody's been so pissed off about the play calling. Well, we finally popped a couple runs to the outside. But what we were really good at last year was outside counter zone, where we pull our guard across, our all-pro guard named Austin Corbett. But we don't have that dude, and we don't have Brady Christensen either. And those were literally our two best plays from last season, the outside counter zone. But we don't have the talent at guard now to even run that simple play. And it's just kind of disheartening. I hope they can come up with something that's going to be formidable against the Titans, or something that's going to surprise the Titans. But we've failed to deliver that, or our coaching staff, our head coach, has failed to deliver that all season long. And that's what it's been all year, is a coaching staff that's supposed to be all-star, going to make the changes that they need to make for us to be effective, because the opportunities are there, but they are stubborn, I guess, or just fail to make those changes, Cody.
Well, here's the question. And you have to ask it over to Chandler Zavala's situation. You have to ask, who's making these decisions to force Chandler Zavala in the lineup? The coaches or the front office?
We haven't talked about that yet. Didn't Frank Reich come out say today that he has a plan at left guard, a new plan, but they don't want to tell anybody about it?
No, I didn't even see what you said.
You didn't see that? Yeah.
Who's starting right guard? With Corbett not there, I don't know who's starting right guard either.
They might try out
Cade Mays.
Is it Cade Mays?
But he didn't name him. Reich wouldn't say. He wanted to keep it a secret. He don't want to give away our offense,
So
vanilla and stuff.
He won't.
Isn't that the dumbest thing in the world? Well, let me
Right.
not tell you in case that actually reveals something.
Yeah, he tells us everything else under.
So
the
in other
sun.
words, that's polite. That's a polite to me. It's a polite way of saying we don't know. We're just fucking all the way around.
Good point, Pickle.
They're gonna flip a quarter and see who starts. Heads, you're
What is
starting.
his
Tails,
fun
you're starting.
start? Andy and let Bryce start at left guard.
Personally, here's what I do. I said this, I think, the other day on Spaces. I would start two people on this roster that haven't started a game since they showed up. Why? Why the hell not? What are you going to lose? Another.
Yeah, what can you lose?
Well, what can you lose? Nash Jansen,
I agree with that.
you're the starter.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, why wouldn't you put
Brett Tooth, whatever his name is? What are you going to start?
Yep.
these dudes from North Dakota State? They're good players, bro. Like, put them in the game, and you might find a diamond in the rough type player. What about your start?
We'll take just some granite at this point. We don't need a diamond. We could just use like some sort of limestone.
We want average. Can we get average, please? Like that's what I think is worthy of Panthers fans at this point in time. Like, I mean, I'd love to have an elite line that we don't have to worry about. Like, if Dak can go an entire game without getting sacked, and we have a guy who's going to be getting paid $25 to $30 million a year that's rushing him and doesn't even get there, that gives you hope that you could build a line that's capable of that. But dang, now.
But let me say this real quick, Pickle. But Bryce has to be better in the pocket. If you watch him, he sucks in the pocket. He sucks in the pocket. Like, it's not all offensive line, bro. Like, come on, bro. You got to be better in the pocket. Like, you got to get your drop back you got to get your drop back right. You got to get your feet right to throw. You can't be fucking sideways. You can't be fucking straight line. You got to have your feet in position to throw. Like, I don't know, man.
The
like,
number one problem is offensive line. Like, the number one.
It's not, bro. It's not, bro.
We're bottom 5.
The quarterback.
Did you see the
number one problem is the quarterback? The number one problem is the quarterback, bro.
Look at PFF's rankings on our offensive line for pass blocking. We're in the 20s. That is dead last in the entire NFL, bro. Our offensive line is a big problem.
I got you. They suck. The O-line sucks.
Hey,
And the quarterback play sucks.
They're both
Al,
clearly
if
a
I ask
problem.
you a question,
But
Go ahead, bro.
let me just say this, Pickle. To me, both of those things are true. Like the offensive line is terrible, but I also don't like Bryce's drop back. I don't like that there are times when there are open receivers and he's just not seeing them. You know, this is why we raise this conversation. Like, is Bryce shell-shocked? Like, is all of this season starting to weigh down on him and affect his performance? I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like one of those scenarios where it's like the chicken or the egg. What came first? You know, is it the receivers not separating that has him just not trusting them? Is it the O-line causing Bryce to play so bad, or did we just expect too much from him? And I think it's probably all of those things together.
Yeah, it's all of them together. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's hard to establish a run, even if you don't want to. Like, I know that Reich was saying, you know, we're not a ground and pound team, but you have to establish some sort of a run game to like even open up the pass game. Right. But yes, you're right. There are times Bryce is in the pocket and his feet, he's a little off balance. He throws a ball, it's like over a receiver's head. Totally agree with that. But also, the line hasn't been great at all either. And then there's a lot of times where we're like in third and long, and I already could call the play out. I'm like, this is going to be a play where they're going to bring the heat, they're going to bring the kitchen, and we're going to just dump it off. We're going to dump it to, you know, a running back. We're just going to dump it off, not get the chains moving, and that's just how it is. It's a little bit of everything at the end of the day, honestly. I don't think Stroud, he might have made a little bit of a difference just because he could kind of create a little bit more, but not much. I just think the line's just been horrible this year.
To me, and I watched a Jordan Palmer say this on the other day, and he was a real good podcast. He basically said Carolina's offense is so screwed up. There doesn't exist a quarterback that can come and fix it. Because what you got is your offensive line is designed to power run block. That's what they do best. The worst thing they can possibly do is pass block and a pass blocking offense, and that's what Reich wants to run. They don't have the agility to go to do zone blocking, which is what Sanders fits. He's zone blocking. He doesn't have they don't have the agility to do that.
I think the difference here with our offensive line, and this is where I think it can be a bit of coaching, but I think it's also a matter of skill set. And Cody, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but the pass blocking and run blocking is a lot more just a matter of your physicality, right? But pass blocking, you have to be able to you have to be smart. You have to have pretty much have all the pieces to be an offensive lineman as a pass blocker. You have to have good hands. You have to be able to know how to set your feet. You have to be prepared for a spin move or a bull rush or somebody who's maybe doing an end around, cutting through the middle. There's a lot of things that you have to worry about as a pass blocking offensive lineman. The run block is easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easy in the aspect of you run and block a guy. That's your job.
Well, in pass protection, the onus is on each individual player to hold their block even longer. So you're a quarterback. If he doesn't get the ball out in time, you have to stand there and make sure that you have recovery maneuvers. They're gonna do the dip and rip. They're gonna hit him with the swipe maneuver. It also depends on what position you play. I agree. By the way, CK, that's been one of the reasons why I've been a proponent of starting Ike at left guard.
Yeah.
It's just because I feel like if you're going to run the football, having that elite run blocking left guard, that would be a lifesaver for us in situations like this. I just think that it benefits him. CK, I know you got to get out of here, so I'll ask you before you go, what's your final score for this matchup?
I think we might see an all-time low score. This is going to be 9-6, and I'm taking the Panthers.
And that's a Ron Rivera game right there, baby.
Dude, that's
Ron
what I'm
Rivera
saying.
loves a game like that.
I'm saying that's the reason I'm saying I think this is going to be we're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. That's going to be the extent of offenses. And that's going to cause this team to run the clock out rather quickly. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring affair.
All right, 9-6, Carolina Panthers. CK, we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, guys, y'all have a good one. Peace out, and we'll see everybody Sunday.
See you on Sunday, man.
See you Sunday, buddy.
See you Sunday. Thank you, CK.
I have to say this. To me, 90%, no, that's too high. I'd just say 60%. 60% our problem is not player related. You understand what I'm saying? 60% of this team's problem is not player related. It is coaching related. And I'm going to tell why. Qualified, experienced NFL head coaches walk to a team and they evaluate what your offensive line does best, and they adapt to it. They adapt their offense to fit that line, or they adapt their offense to fit that team, as not just line, that team. We aren't doing that. We are essentially walking into the door and saying the offensive line is basically run blocks better. They're power block offensive line. We're not going to do that. We don't have the wide receivers to do a passing offense, but we go into it anyway. And that's just what we're doing. Now, on top of all that, Thomas Brown wants to run one way of doing something. And Frank Wright wants to do it a different way. Then you got a passing game coordinator standing over here and somebody else standing over there, and everybody's talking at the same time, and poor old rookie quarterback has to interpret that in his headset to who wants what, where, why. Before he gets in the field and practice, you have one guy running the practice. The offensive coordinator is the only guy giving barking orders in practice. But when game day comes, Frank Wright, who calls plays, is calling different sets of plays that not just that he's not running, but they're not practicing. But at the same time, none of the players fits the system that Thomas Brown wants to play, because neither one of them had a say in what the players that were brought in. So, you know, when you have, if you have a truck that you needed your engine change or you needed engine work, you're not going to the body shop because Jimmy Joe said he can do you a good engine. You're not going to take your truck to the body shop to get your engine fixed.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing in Carolina.
And that's why it's confusing to me. And by the way, that's probably why I think, regardless of if anyone thinks they deserve it or not, and most people do, but they're probably moving on from Frank Reich at the end of the season. And I put on Twitter yesterday, I think what the San Francisco 49ers are doing with Brock Purdy and how they employ him, also how Mike McDaniels employs and how they use Tua Tagovailoa. Like, the Panthers need that, man. The Panthers need that Shanahan style of offense in order for Bryce. Right. But see, the difference between those two teams is neither San Fran nor Miami traded up to get their quarterback. Like, they just took them where they were, and they had opportunities to build the teams around them. So, you know, it's tough for me, man, because I think that Bryce can be good when put in the right system, but I just, if I'm being honest here, I don't know how long it's going to take for us to build a 49ers roster around Bryce or a Miami Dolphins roster around Bryce. I mean, it's not like there's going to be a Tyreek Hill available in free agency next year. Like, they don't just grow on trees. So I don't necessarily know where all this talent is going to be coming from. And to me, it lends more credence to the fact that we were so hungry for a quarterback that I think regardless if it was Bryce or CJ, I think we moved up too soon. But this team was not prepared. This roster was not prepared to survive losing DJ Moore or Brian Burns like they were going to have to. It wasn't prepared to lose Christian McCaffrey, and I don't think they were prepared to lose that first round pick that we're not going to have this year either.
Let me ask you a question, Cody.
Mhm.
Why is Brock Purdy adapted to the 49er offense so good?
Well, I mean, so I think it's a couple reasons. One, Purdy is a pretty good player. I mean, you have to give him some credit. The man runs the offense effectively. Number two, it helps when you have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. You know, all those things help. It also helps when you, 100%. It also helps when you have one of the best play callers, literally in the game of football, as your head coach calling the plays for you. Also, my last one is the San Francisco 49ers. They already have a history with this style of play from their quarterback. Like not someone that's very mobile, not someone that has a cannon for an arm. They had Jimmy Garoppolo, and they straight up made it to the Super Bowl. They've made it to the NFC Championship game. They have really good defenses. So there's a number of different things that contributed to his success.
So I've heard the other day, I heard somebody say that the 49ers offense is just it's very quarterback friendly. Basically, any style quarterback can adapt to it quickly. Would that be a good statement or a bad statement?
Yeah, I think that they do a good job of scheming wide receivers open. And like instead of just designating a play going to a single receiver, if they have a receiver in mind that they want to get the ball to, they're going to use a lot of motions and a lot of shifts to help that quarterback pre-snap, so that way his job is easier to do post-snap. He knows where he's going. The defense is kind of on their heels because of all the motions that you've been employing. It also has a lot of RPO that they use as well. And to me, I think all of those things in confluence, they help Brock Purdy look really good.
So could you almost say the same thing about the Miami defense?
I mean, the
Different
offense,
players, but the
the
Miami offense.
Yeah. And by the way, CJ Stroud. Look at CJ Stroud.
Both of them run the same offense, and both of them are basically quarterback-friendly offenses, according to Joe Palmer. And you can go to my Twitter account, and you can find the link there. That's why Stroud is looking so good with the Texans, because they're running the same exact offense, and they did real good with the drafting this year, and them players are just working around it.
Yeah.
So
I 100% agree with that. And it's like I told you on
our problem is our systems that we're running are incompetent.
Yeah, they are. And also, it's like I was telling you on Spaces the other day, that 2013, I think it was 2013, coaching staff for the Washington Redskins, they had Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Mike McDaniel, Bobby Slovic, Sean McVay. It's like, dude, his coaching tree right now is by far the most successful in the NFL. How about this? Shanahan's coaching tree is more successful than Andy Reid's and Bill Belichick's coaching tree.
And if I was, I agree. If I'm David Terpper, and I said this the other day on Twitter, I said it on Spaces, and I'm going to say it here if you don't mind. In my opinion, if I'm David Terpper at the end of this year, I'm going to go hire. I forgot his name. Peters, assistant GM. Adam Peters, the assistant GM of the 49ers, as my 49ers. And I'm going to push very hard to get the offensive coordinator from the Texans, Bobby Sloan. I will offer him the same amount of money that Kyle Shanahan makes. maybe a smidgen more.
But
just to
David
get him
Tepper's
off
going to
that
have to. He's going to have to break out the
he is.
pockets too.
But at the
And-
same time, I'm going to say, you guys fix this team. Here's the checkbook. You go fix it.
Do y'all think there's any chance that David Tepper doesn't fire anyone just because he doesn't want to have all these coaches that he's still paying for? He's going to have to pay for a brand new coaching staff and the staff that he's already employed. Like, you're not just going to get rid of them. You're going to owe those dudes some money if you do.
Yeah, and here's the catch here. If you fire somebody, right? For example, if he fires Thomas Brown, and Thomas Brown immediately goes and gets a job at the Rams, Tepper don't owe him nothing because he went and got a job right after that. Other than
Well, it depends on what they pay him.
If it's guaranteed, he's guaranteed. But I'll let that flux. But that's just my opinion. I would go with the 49er offense instead of the Eric Bieniemy offense, is because to be honest, the 49ers have proved that it's working really good for 3 teams. And I like my odds better that our quarterback fits a 49er offense or Kyle Shanahan offense. I haven't seen anywhere that tells me he fits Eric Bieniemy offense.
No,
I don't think David Tepper is going to get squirmish now. He hasn't got squirmish yet. We cut Teddy Bridgewater after 1 year and continue to pay him all these years, and he's just now finally coming off the books, I believe. I don't think Tepper is worried about that yet. If he is, to what you're saying, I think he'll just hire from within. There's enough talent within the organization to fill all the spots and still get rid of a few people as scapegoats, if you will. Him going to the outside and bringing somebody in, I only really see that happening in case it's a big one. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be a Harbaugh or a Belichick, maybe a Bill O'Brien. I don't think your take on that was that far off either.
No.
That really might be the case. We might bring in
Not
Bill O'Brien as head coach.
He's a good coach.
I don't like
Bill
it,
O'Brien's a
bro,
good coach.
it
It should be Harbaugh. We need to go get Harbaugh.
I
but
think
Teddy
that-
ain't going to listen to us, bro.
I don't think, and y'all don't forgive me for saying this, I don't think Harbaugh's a realistic option.
He's not. He's
No,
probably not.
He's going to go to Chicago.
The NFL reporters have already said, according to the insiders in the NFL, if an NFL team hires John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh, if they hire Jim Harbaugh, he'll face a suspension of the first inning of the NFL.
Why is that?
Already faces
Wow, why is that? Why is that?
For the situations in college. It's been done before. It'll be getting
already. They said the NFL don't care. From what
how does that work?
According to reporters, day before yesterday, they've already said that he'll face a suspension.
Wait, in
Which
the
is
NFL?
wild.
Yes.
In the NFL.
You sure?
Yes.
I heard the opposite.
He saw
Wow,
like I
dude,
did.
during the Thanksgiving day before the first game, Jay Glazer was on the broadcast and said that coaches do not care. That
Well,
if they
don't run the NFL.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, but
but I'm saying, like, I mean, he's talking to real people that are involved, and Harbaugh has the resume that everybody wants. So I also agree they don't give a shit.
But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter, bro, because our players suck.
Yeah, that's dude. He's going to Chicago.
It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter who our coach is. It's going to be a low record because the players suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we go 1-16, you have to get rid of everybody.
That's not true, Kevin. That's not true. We've seen a few times where like good coaches were able to make the best of their poor situation and get a winning record or come close.
I mean, get 8-8 at best.
Brian Dable.
On report Sunday morning from NFL Network, Ian Rappaport and Tom Paracello, the NFL would likely not be safe harbor for Harbaugh, raising the strong possibility that Harbaugh will need to serve some or all of any suspensions he could face in college if he returns to the pros. So basically, what that's telling you, if you don't interpret that, the NFL will make Jim Harbaugh serve a suspension. If college says you're
Didn't they do that to a
suspended for
player
2
one
weeks,
time?
then yes, they have. They've done that for players. If college says you're suspended for a month, the NFL is going to make Harbaugh honor that suspension in the NFL.
Hey, y'all want to hear a completely unrelated story that reminds me of? When I was in the 8th grade, we had this teacher. Man, she had some big old boobies, man. And my friends, they dared me on the final day to ask her bra size. But we were kids. We were dumb as shit. But I ended up not doing it because one of the teachers got pussy. I know. One of the teachers got wind of it, and they were like, "Hey, and by the way, it was the final day of 8th grade. So the next year, I'm going to high school." They were like, "Hey, if you do something like that, we'll make sure that you're suspended, or that you're, that you're gonna pay for it. Yeah. As soon as you get into high school, you're gonna have to pay for that shit." And that's what that just reminded me of. So that's my.
I may add to the folks in the chat. I'm not yaying or naying Jim Harbaugh. I personally don't feel that Terpper will hire Jim Harbaugh. The last year, Harbaugh called the Panthers multiple times to see if they were interested in him, to let them know he would be interested in interviewing with the Panthers. And David Terpper hung up on him several times, and at the end finally said, "Jim, we're not interested in you. Don't call back," and hung up. If he did that last year, I don't see him changing his mind this year.
No. And he said,
"Is he always the GM too?"
Huh?
Is he always the GM and the head coach?
That's when he was with the 49ers. That was his problem with Baalke. He wanted complete, utter control over the entire roster, and they didn't want to do that.
And that's why he went to college.
That's
what caused the original rift.
That's what I'm saying. David Tepper's never going to go for that.
No, he's never.
Yeah, he ain't going to fly. That ain't going to fly.
I mean, I understand you want the moxie. I agree with that. But I've never divulged too much into it or allowed myself to get too involved in it because it's not going to fit that. I know the other day on somebody else's podcast, they were talking about how, Terpper loves Jim Harbaugh. He tried to hire him. And it's like, no, he didn't, y'all. No, stop making up stuff, folks, to satisfy.
And if he loved him that damn much, then why isn't he
would have hired him.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's not like if David Terpper had somebody that he loved, that he wouldn't move the mountains to go and get the dude that he loved.
We're getting Jason Garrett.
He offered Ben Johnson. He offered Ben Johnson.
That's the perfect coach.
He said, if he comes work for me, I'll make him the highest paid coach in the NFL. Ben Johnson still turned it down.
Think about it. I mean, Jason Garrett is the perfect coach for Terpper.
We chose bad
Santa.
Exactly.
Cody, I think you need to disconnect White Chocolate. He's having technical difficulties.
I didn't say I wanted him. I said that's the perfect coach for Terpper. Because he would bend over backwards for Terpper.
So somebody's going to lay on his back or sit on his butt, and
Terpper wanted.
He got that already. If he he'll just hire. Then he just fired. Yeah, if I may, real quick. Then I'll drop. I think the very least we will do this year is we'll change the coaches in the offense. Not necessarily maybe the head coach. For example, I could see them saying, Thomas Brown, good luck, you're gone. Offensive line coach, good luck, you're gone. Maybe another coach like that too, and then that way you're dealing with one offensive coordinator, not multiple. But for example, I've forgot his name. There's a passing game coordinator we have that was with Reich with the Colts. He called plays for Reich. He called
I
plays
forget
with the
his
Colts.
name.
You know what I'm talking about?
Parks
Reich,
Fraser, right?
Parks Fraser. Yeah,
Parks
and
Fraser.
he likes the same offense that Frank Reich likes. So I could see him making him offensive coordinator, but Frank Reich calling plays.
We're getting Joe Brady. Full circle.
Hey, so there's 2 more things I wanted to show, and then we're probably gonna get out a little bit early, man. I don't necessarily think that this is a 3-hour long type of day, but this was floating around the internet, and dude, it's so embarrassing. We've got to at least mention it. First, let me welcome my boy Anthony back to the show. Ant, what's up? And then you've heard him talking. He's a fan of a team that's going to get their fucking asses kicked tomorrow. It's White Chocolate Espresso.
What's up?
But yeah, man, the Panthers. So if you take literally every NFL team, every NBA team, every baseball team, every NHL team, and you put them all together, since 2019, the Panthers have the lowest win percentage of any professional sports team in the Big Four, in NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. Dude, if that's not embarrassing, dude, that's why I said, man, I wasn't around for the Jimmy Clausen year. I know it was bad, but dude, there's no way the Panthers have ever been down bad worse than we are right now, bro. I just refuse to hear it. I refuse to hear that there's ever been a worse time for Panthers.
And Terpper is the problem. Terpper is the problem.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, David Terpper is the problem. He ain't going nowhere, though, but he's the problem. Or he's one of the problems. How about that? It's damn sure one of the problems. And then another thing that I wanted to show y'all. So today, Nebraska played Iowa. Well, why am I muted? Hold up.
Hang on. Figure out what you're doing.
No, I was experiencing some technical difficulties. My bad. No, Matt Rhule. I don't know why everybody's. No. Matt Rhule played at. He's the coach at Nebraska, and they so they're not even bowl eligible. All they've done is lose. So Jay Feely, former kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, for a few other teams, field goal kicker in the NFL. He put this out, man. And he's talking about Matt Rhule. He said, "Meter the beater with the game winner as his first kick of the year. Couldn't be happier for Matt Rhule." And then he said, "You know how they say you can judge a man by the way he treats those who can help him? Based on the crappy way Matt Rhule treated people in Carolina and what those people told me, that's how I judge him." Damn, bro.
Yeah, it's easy to see that Matt Rhule's always had a problem closing out games. He doesn't know how to coach his players to close out games and get wins. At least he didn't here in Carolina. And we saw the same things today from the Cornhuskers. They were able to clutch defeat from the jaws of victory. They literally had that game won with a late interception, but they decided to throw another interception themselves and give enough yards on defense within like 23 seconds to let Iowa kick the game-winning field goal. So congratulations to Matt Rhule. We appreciate everything you did here in Carolina, especially destroying the depth of this team. And I'm glad to see that you once again got what you deserve and your great big contract there in Nebraska. Way to go, Matt Rhule.
Yeah. All right.
Did y'all see Matt Rhule's response to this season in Nebraska? He comparing their first season. He referenced to the first people who stormed the beach at Normandy.
What the
He
fuck?
said, I feel crushed for these guys, said Rhule of his seniors in a video shared by Chase Madison of 1011 News in Nebraska. Sometimes the first people to do things don't get to see the results. The first people to storm the beaches at Normandy, the first explorers, they didn't get to see the end results. What a freaking moron.
That's almost as bad as Dabo.
They should fire that man for that.
All right, bye, Kev. Bye.
Yeah.
Kev ain't got shit to say no more. How dare you? And yo, don't talk shit to me today. Your team is about to get their ass whooped tomorrow.
How do you know?
All right.
Your
What's
team's
up,
ass too.
my team's not as ass as your team.
Well, good for you.
And don't you ever put Dabo in the same
NIL
as fucking.
I'll put it in the
have NIL.
The NIL joke.
Yeah.
It's been downhill since then.
God, I can't.
Matt Rhule, you're a moron.
Yeah, Matt Rhule is a moron.
Why
oh
you
no,
take Pickle out?
No, I didn't. Pickle got the X. He just dropped out.
Well, damn.
He pressed the wrong button. That's all it was. And all three of those teams could beat the Panthers right now, in my opinion. I've been thinking about this as I've watched more college football this year. It's like the NFC South is like the Sun Belt of the NCAA and the NFL, if you know what I mean. Like, we're ranked so low, like the NFC South is just bad. And you can tell by the records, like, we're lucky to be 500 down here in the NFC South. And we picked up a quarterback that came from the SEC in Alabama, one of the premier teams in the premier conference of the NCAA. And there's such a big difference. And there's no surprise that Bryce Young has had trouble adjusting, because we were way worse than we thought we were, to be honest, with the coaching change.
Yeah.
Shout out to Diesel Skills. You just said that Bryce has had trouble adjusting. Well, brother, do you not agree? They ain't nobody in our entire offense, entire Carolina Panthers staff or coaches or players that's adjusted.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's on this coaching staff to make adjustments, Pickle, and we just have not seen it. We finally saw outside counter zone. Way to go. Or not counter, just outside zone. We finally ran the ball to the outside and had a little bit of success. But the failure of all these free agents that we brought in is what keeps bothering me. We brought in DJ Chark. He hasn't done anything. We brought in Hayden Hurst. He hasn't done anything. We brought in Miles Sanders. He hadn't done anything. But on the defensive side of the ball, we bring in DeAntoine Jameson, and he's done well. We bring in DiCaprio Boodle. He's done well. And there's only one explanation for it, Pickle. What do you think it is?
Coaching.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I even put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Do we think that before I say that, it is true what Pickle said. Matt Rhule did compare Nebraska's losing season to the first people who stormed the beach in Normandy. God, what an idiot, dude! How did you not know that isn't gonna go over well? I don't know. That's beyond me, man.
Matt Rhule, do yourself a favor and shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up.
I was laughing my ass off today. Sorry, guys. I was laughing at Matt Rhule when they choked the game today. I was like, oh, my goodness. And, dude, you know what's funny? I think Matt Rhule's quarterback is Brock Purdy's brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Chubba Purdy, I think that's what his name is. Like, he's trying to recreate this Purdy Magic 2.0. I don't know. Sorry to cut you all off.
They started the year. They started the year with the black gentleman at quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he threw him to the curb, man. And it's like the problem to your team isn't the quarterback. It's just that, one, you don't have enough talent right now, and two, you're still Matt Rhule.
He is, man. You're right. I didn't know that. You're right.
But
he's
also
the younger brother of Brock Purdy.
But hey, let me ask you all this. I know that is pretty cool. Let me ask you all this.
Please don't get
do you think that Ejiro Evero is going to stay on this coaching staff if we end up revamping the staff again?
Probably not.
No.
I think everyone's gone.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone, period. I think somebody will I think he goes elsewhere. He either gets an I wouldn't shock me for him to be a head coach somewhere.
No, see, I don't. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying that, but I don't necessarily know that Evero is going to be a coach at the end of the season.
Do you? Okay.
I think the entire coaching staff goes.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Cody.
I wouldn't be surprised that. I just don't think he'll be back here at the end of the year, no matter how good he does.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I just wanted to say, like, what's your honest opinion of him? Because I think, like, given all the injuries, like, he's probably been the only bright spot on this coaching staff.
Dude, I have no problem. I have no problem with Ejiro Evero. If Ejiro Evero stays for another year, I'm happy with that, dude. Give him some time to actually put talent on this defense and actually have people be healthy and ready to play. And dude, this defense could be one of the better ones in the NFL. Granted, you have to continue to put talent on this team, but even when Evero was with the Denver Broncos, they had a terrible offense. So here he is again. He's on another team with a bullshit offense. So his defense is being asked to do so much. Of course, it breaks down at the end of games. I would love to have Evero back next year. I don't know that it'll happen, but I could also see a scenario where even if they do hire new coaches, it's not like they're going to hire someone better as a defensive mind right now than Evero, so they might easily keep him here.
I think if the head coach stays, I think everyone stays. Even Thomas Brown.
I don't agree to that. I believe there will be some axes, but I think we may see if Terpper doesn't want to fire the head coach, I think he goes through and fires positional coaches or coordinators himself. When that happens, it's gonna push. It could push Frank to the limit to resign himself.
I think Terpper gave them a 1-year grace period because they knew the talent wasn't there.
Yes, and someone was saying that. I don't know who was saying that, and I don't know if I believe this, but someone was saying Frank Reich may have hired Frank. I mean, freaking David Terpper may have hired Frank Reich knowing that, like, he was the easiest coach to fire after his season, which in itself, it's like, I don't believe that, because why would you hire a coach knowing that, like, you're most likely going to fire him after one season? But I don't think Frank Reich survives. And I mean, I'd love to see what Ejiro Evero could do with, like, a healthy defense. It seems like every week we're playing, like, a decent quarterback. Like, they're just beating us on the run. Pretty much.
What if they were going to fire him? They would have fired him already.
Y'all also got to realize, like, Jaycee Horn, forget Jaycee Horn's health, at least if we get another shutdown corner, someone who's able to take up 1/3 of the field in this zone defense that we have when we protect the pass, it's really going to help Avero's scheme the most, because he doesn't have to worry about where that side of the field is. You know, he knows that player can lock it down with his biggest trust, and he could scheme elsewhere and it could be easier to stop the run when we could just put more players on the box because we have players out there on the field who could actually cover. But no, I don't think that up.
Dude,
I don't think he gets fired this year. I think if they did, they would have done it already.
Who?
I kind of think that Kev is making a point. It would not surprise me. I mean, so I still think that someone is gonna get fired, but it would not surprise me if that is what happens. And David Terpper does.
Fire people early.
And David Terpper gives him that leeway here. Dude, I'll be furious if we don't fire Fitterer, because I don't want to see Fitterer in charge of another job.
Cody, I think honestly, because they didn't get fired on the bye week when we were 0-6, I honestly was saying it around then that we might keep them all the way through next year and fire both of them, because he might
want to let y'all know,
Terpper, because of the price of the coach and the GM, he might just want to hold out for this year and next year, and then be in a better situation to fire both of them and hire 2 new guys.
Well,
Pickle, let me say this.
Wait, Alex has been trying to get in. Let me let Alex get in. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I think after if we lose this week, I know every week is kind of like one of those weeks. I think if we lose this week, I'd fire Fitter and Frank Reich, and then we see what Evero could do as a head coach. That's what I would.
They would have done that
telling
with
y'all.
Chicago.
I'm
But
sorry.
here's the problem.
like,
Here's the
there's-
problem people are talking about Evero. I like Evero now. Don't misunderstand that.
Who's
I've told you
saying to
before,
be the
I would
interim head
always prefer a defensive head coach. But let's be real. David Tepper, you have to ask yourself, is David Tepper willing to hire a defensive-minded head coach?
No, and he's not even willing to hire the right people. Listen, this is what I'm just going to say, man. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here. But, dude, if Frank Reich's here next year, like, don't expect anything to really get better. I'm just going to keep it above y'all. Like, nothing's going to, like, he's so set in his ways at this point. If David Tepper doesn't fire him, then it's simply for the sake that he just doesn't want to admit that he made a mistake sooner rather than later. That's pretty much it.
That's another coach he has to pay. He's paying
I got
coaches
you.
and the soccer
That's
coaches.
Well, I was under the premise that
he's not playing Rhule no more. Rhule put a lawsuit against David Tepper not long ago because he wasn't getting his money. They settled that out of court, and that's it. That's done. He's not paying nobody else. People have it in their head, everybody, because he's fired. Ron Rivera only had 2 more years left on his deal when he was with Carolina.
What about the soccer coaches?
That was over 2 years ago. Well, I don't give a rat's fucking ass about
Well,
soccer.
he has to pay them.
The soccer, I don't give a damn how much he pays fucking soccer. You've got to be a moron to love soccer to start with him.
The only reason Ron Rivera has a job right now is because
Kevin was like, "What about the soccer teams?"
The only reason
I swear to God.
job right now is because
What about his prostitutes?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ron Rivera has a job right now is because he made the playoffs in 2020. Like, that's understandable. And plus, Ron Rivera is a decent coach. But, like, I don't know, man.
Well, you know, Ron Rivera's stuck in the same situation. He's a leftover from a previous regime. Now they've got brand new ownership in that building. They're gonna do Ron the courtesy. They're gonna let him finish the year, and they're gonna say thank you for your services, but we're gonna move on and do our own.
Well, hold on. That's crazy. Washington is actually willing to stick out with Ron to the end of the year and fire him. The Panthers won. Yeah, that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, right. We went to a Super Bowl with the dude, and
he's our best coach in franchise history.
Yeah, and the Commanders will do it for him.
Oh, wait a second. I just remember White Chocolate Espresso's down there. Hey, White Chocolate Espresso. I get the Denver Broncos are only 5-5, but is it time you start to take back that Sean Payton slander?
No, I'm never giving up a first-round coach for any coach. Yeah, your fucking mind.
I'm not
going about Sean Payton.
He still gave up 70 points in a game. Hell no.
Hey, don't take this personally, but shut the hell up.
There you go.
They just had Sean Payton.
Sean Payton
no, it ain't about that.
To hell.
Aren't they alive?
His mama and all his kids with him.
Aren't they still alive in the playoff race?
I would never give up a first-round pick for a coach.
They're one of the hottest AFC teams.
You don't want to trade a first-round pick for. You don't want to trade a first-round pick for Sean Payton. I get it, but that dude is light years ahead of Frank Reich. I mean, he turned around Russell Wilson, and now everyone's like, "Oh, Russ is back. Russ is back." No, it's just because he had Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach, who has no fucking clue what he's doing.
So is it Russ or him?
It's because of Sean Payton. Anthony.
Well, Russ is playing better now that he has Payton.
Yes, and to my point, it shows that coaching matters. Like, I never thought. Yes, Russ fell off to a certain extent, but he's still a good, serviceable quarterback.
His weaknesses just got exposed. He didn't fall off. His weaknesses got exposed in a different situation.
Oh, good Lord.
And now Sean Payton is able to pamper his situation or pamper his deficiencies, which is why I think it's so crazy that Panther fans are like, "Oh, fuck Sean Payton." Nah, we need a head coach who can hide our
find another one.
Yeah, but as long as y'all understand that with the Payton haters, it was personal because they were wanting him. They were wanting him to headhunt on Cam Newton. They were having him. Hold up. They were having him.
Then too.
Dude, he was. They were having that defense headhunt on Cam Newton.
Want to give up a first-round pick for a coach?
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's simple.
I didn't want to do that shit.
It's stupid.
Sean Payton, and I'll go to my grave believing this. So you're no use to. If y'all don't believe me, that's your privilege. But there's no use to talk me out of this. Sean Payton is a motherfucker who offered $1,000 to any player who breaks the leg, who puts Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly out of the season. Quote. That's why he was suspended. That's documented fact. If that's all you got as a coach, you's a dumb son of a bitch. Somebody should have caught that motherfucker in a parking lot and broke both of his fucking legs.
All I'm saying is Frank Reich is clearly not nearly as close of an offensive coach as Sean Payton is. And I get it. There's hate against him. I understand.
He also has talent on the Denver Broncos. We have no talent.
Yes, he's got talent. He's a better offensive coach. But at this point, I would take Peter.
I'd take Russ over.
I would take Peter.
Over Young.
I'd take Deron Bland. He's got 5 touchdowns for the house.
How about this?
Coordinator of the Charlotte 49ers as my head coach before I take Sean
Hey, how about
Payton.
this?
I don't know what the hell that is.
And they're only 500.
Dude, every time I watch Jerry Jeudy play, I'm like, damn, why didn't we go and get that dude? Dude, on a bullshit ass team.
Wait, what?
He's mid as fuck. He doesn't do anything, bro.
Dude, on an offense that doesn't even fucking utilize him. If you're gonna bring in a brand new coach this year, and let's say you went and got a Bobby Slovic from Houston, you're gonna tell me that they wouldn't know how to scheme Jerry Jeudy open, that they wouldn't be able to do things with. Bro, y'all.
Okay, how about this, Cody? How about this?
Y'all are just smoking on that Steve Smith.
You don't want to get a second round pick for him?
Cody. All right, Cody. When we have him, and he drops the third and 5, you're on point right at you. Because that's the kind of player Jerry Jeudy is. He makes up plenty of mental errors. It's just shit you can't make up for, and he doesn't make up for it with all of his other talent. He's overrated.
That sounds like Mingo, JJ.
Hey, how about this? How about we get a serious GM in here and draft his own fucking talent instead of getting washed up dudes that are going for 3rd round picks?
Well, hurry up. Quit wasting time.
But I think that you're going to have to sign a receiver and draft one.
You are, yeah. But Jerry, you can go out and try to overpay the fuck out of a Mike Evans or someone that could be willing. I'm saying could be willing.
Jerry
willing
Jeudy
to come
would
here.
be a free agent anyway.
Jerry Jeudy.
Well, I mean,
I called him a fraud.
Probably going to be the receiver that we're targeting in the offseason. And that's what I hope. He's a Clemson guy.
If you get T. Higgins, you better draft a Troy Franklin.
What?
Someone with speed.
No Clemson guy?
I don't think Troy Franklin's going to fall to 33 though.
Yeah,
how
about this, Cody? How about this?
I need a guard.
You need to draft someone that has some speed. How about that? In some round.
Absolutely. You have to.
Brown? Calvin Ridler's a free agent. Marquise Brown is a free agent.
Yeah, Hollywood. That's another thing. Hollywood Brown. I feel like that dude's underwhelming. Like y'all tell me
he's been hurt.
He's hurt all the time. He's not a number 1 wide receiver. Like he's a deep threat. You know who he reminds me of? Brandon Cooks. You know how Brandon Cooks
looked good yesterday.
Yeah, but you know how he bounces around. Yeah, he bounces around to all these different teams. Like I don't know. To me, he's not the difference maker that I think a lot of people want him to.
There was a good comparison for him I had the other day. I can't remember.
We're probably not going to get a difference maker in free agency.
We're not.
At wide receiver.
I hope.
All it comes
You're just
down
hoping
to,
for a guy.
We'll probably
comes down to
Hollywood Brown and drop the Mecca Ibuka.
it comes down to, can we get an
Would he
offensive
be available?
guy in here, and can we get a general manager that knows how to draft worth a damn and put those two minds together? That's what it comes down to. If you're even going to draft a Mecca Ibuka, let's just say a guy like him, Frank Reich probably won't know what the fuck to do with him. Let's just be honest.
Well, you gotta think he's not a speedster. He's just like a way better Adam Thielen. He's just younger, stronger, faster, way better of a route runner than Adam Thielen. He's just that a little faster. It's just, like he's just if you want to get that like a guy like that for Bryce, who he's already comfortable with Adam Thielen, you get him another one who's even better. That's just what I was thinking.
We're gonna have to get, like I said, we're gonna have to get more than one receiver. We're gonna need one in free agency. We're gonna have to draft one, and then I heard what you said too, Don. You said at guard, man. We might need to draft a guard at 30.
Yes, there's a bigger issue than all of that. Bigger issue than all of that is
I would try and go get a left tackle on free agency.
Facts.
We need offensive linemen, man. We need offensive linemen. Like I would not be mad at all if they spent damn worth 3 picks on this offensive line. I would not be mad at all. Because
at the same time, Bryce Young, like you also gotta think like Bryce Young, sometimes he gets locked and focused into one guy. So it doesn't really matter how the connection is at a certain point, because like you just need guys who could actually get open more consistently. I feel like,
bro, when it's so bad, he don't even look to him anymore. Like I think that's what's going on. Like these receivers have been so bad at getting separation. Like Bryce don't even fucking look at him anymore. He really doesn't. And then the fucking wide receivers, they're like, Bryce ain't gonna throw me the ball, so I ain't gonna run hard. How many times have we seen wide receivers give up on the reps this year? I think it's a hand in hand kind of thing.
That's Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, I've been saying it. It's time to cut Jonathan Mingo. That dude is absolute trash, bro.
You gotta give him at least one more year.
Cut him. What are you talking about? What?
That's problems I was having, and I talked to it on Twitter Spaces the other day. There is no discipline on this team. And back, and I was talking to Moss about it years ago, when the player fucked up majorly, and everybody knew he fucked up, he would be inactive the next day. The next game, because John Fox did it as performance punishment, and they knew real damn quick you fucked up.
So, by the way,
Rivera used to do that, and it was performance based. It was let that player know what they did could cost him a job, just by inactivations and this coaching staff, this front office refuses to do that. If you fuck up, that's all right. Pat him on the back. Good luck next week.
Pickle, I think it was you that mentioned the left tackle in free agency. I just went to Spot Rack. The only ones that are even available right now going into next season are Tyron Smith, who's old, Dwayne Brown, Cornelius Lucas, and Donovan Smith, the left tackle for.
I like his name.
Yeah, but the Bengals have a left tackle.
Yeah, that's dope.
The Bengals have a left tackle that's been forced to play right tackle, and he'll hit free agency this year.
I do not want Jonah Williams
last year.
No, that dude is bad. And listen, the solution to left. No offense, Pickle. The solution to left tackle is on our roster. His name is Brady Christensen.
Yeah.
Who knows if someone knows worth a damn to actually put him at his natural position that he played at BYU his whole damn career.
That's the biggest question.
Exactly. And I'm just saying we have to just naturally draft depth pieces and pieces behind the other guys, because there's so many injuries. And yeah, listen, I was joking about Jonathan Mingo. Obviously, he won't get cut, but like one more year, he just looks like he doesn't even know how to, if he's not getting the playbook down, or he just looks lost out there. And like Pickle said, that discipline, it just seems like no one's actually telling him dude, you're sucking ass right now. You got to fix this route. And
I figure
he's doing it.
Adam Thielen should be talking to him. That's usually what the vet's supposed to be.
Correct. Yeah.
I brought that up to John Ellis, and John Ellis said about Brady Christensen. He said let's understand them. There's a lot of coaches in the league who don't like guys with short arms at left tackle. But he also said the same thing, that we still need one. But discipline is, I understand veteran players, but for all I know, veteran players have said something to them. But by and large, right now, apparently Adam Thielen doesn't see it that much a problem. Besides that, discipline. There's a point where y'all remember back. Let me put it this way. Williams, that tackle that got that 15-yard penalty, that shoved that guy when he was already down.
Yeah.
That got in the past game. Imagine yourself. Imagine if Luke Kuechly or Thomas Davis was playing on this team when that happened. They would be up his shit, on his shit, and inside his ass. Because I've seen him do it. I've seen him get in the face. They got into Josh Norman's face because he kept screwing up. They got into multiple. They got into Dante Jackson, caught him in a locker room, got into it with him multiple times. But at the very same time, none of these players that I'm aware of on this team are doing that. But you also have to make a point as a coach. When you have, for example, I'll use a guy right now. And even though we have a lot of issues, if I'm the head coach, I would inactivate Bradley Bozeman for performance reasons. Now, you do that one time. Number one, Bradley Bozeman's going to have an issue with it, but so is his wife. So is half the fan base. So was his guys who looked up to him as a captain. And when he comes back, you notice he's no longer a captain. It's been stripped by the coaching staff. That tells the other players, if they're going to do it to Bradley Bozeman, they might do it to me. I got to get my shit right.
I don't think we have the depth to do that, though.
Bradley Bozeman, Cade Mays can play center.
Bradley Bozeman isn't. I agree, Pickle, but Bradley Bozeman isn't meant to be in a spread offense like this.
I agree. I was using an example, but at the same time, he's a player on this team. If you look at it that way, Anthony, then every player on this team is going to have an excuse.
No, I get it, and that's why I'm blaming the coaches, because they don't even know what the fuck the players' strengths are.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
A while ago, somebody mentioned Eric Bieniemy, right? We was talking about.
Yeah.
What did the Washington coach or Washington players do this past training camp? They went to Ron Rivera and complained because Eric Bieniemy was being too hard on them. Ron Rivera looked at him and said, "Man up, go out there and play football like you get paid to do."
Mm-hmm.
But Frank Reich said it's only 30% on the coaching staff. The coaching staff only has 30% responsibility of our win-loss record. But then Jonathan Stewart, just the other day on his podcast, he said that the players were the one that established the culture and the standard for the team. So I'm kind of stuck. Which one is it, guys? What you think?
Yeah, I think it's the players. It's the players hands down.
When Jonathan Stewart came to Carolina drafted, we already had a culture here. We already had a culture. He went from the Jake Delhomme and the Julius Peppers and the D'Angelo Williams and that style culture. We went through a few bad years, but then he bounced back when we had a Cam Newton culture and we had a Luke Kuechly culture, and a Thomas Davis was through the whole process. So he experienced the culture from not from the start. He walked in already established culture. That's easier for him to say it that way.
I give you a better example.
Go back beyond Jonathan Stewart, back to when Jonathan Stewart was likely still in high school, to when John Fox came into Carolina. He had to establish that culture because he said, you're either going to do it this way or you're not going to do it. And
what about what do you think's happening right now with the Patriot culture, the Patriot way?
Oh, dude.
And ain't doing nothing, right?
I don't think
because
Hey,
Tom
did
Brady
y'all?
left.
Hey, did y'all? Did y'all
there
see
never
that?
was a Patriot.
Did y'all see the Apple TV? They're already putting out like a 10-part documentary about the Patriots and their 6 Super Bowls or 7 or
'cause
whatever
he's
it was.
about to get fired.
Yeah, they're already giving them the last dance treatment, like the
Since you
Bulls
brought
got.
up the Patriots, we were talking about coaches. I'm gonna say something, and y'all can quote me on this because I'm gonna stand my rock on this. Whatever happens to Bill Belichick, if he goes somewhere else, he'll be complete utter failure. Bill, without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick doesn't win one Super Bowl.
No.
Oh,
But unless he goes to the Chargers.
No,
could do
in
something.
my opinion, without Tom Brady doesn't win. Or without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick doesn't win one Super Bowl. Bill Belichick is overrated.
he might be able to win one with Justin Herbert, just because I think
He might be
Justin
doing.
Herbert's
No,
one of
I
the
don't
best.
say that. I say he might do something. He might have winning seasons.
Yeah, I agree with that. But hey, man,
What,
look,
that ain't too hard.
so look,
Exactly.
we're at the part of the show where I am going to ask everybody their final score prediction for the game and your player of the game. Anthony, you're just in time, bro. I'm gonna let you go first. Who's your player of the game, and who's gonna win this Sunday, the Panthers or the Titans?
Are you asking? Wait, who'd you ask?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Motherfucker.
Oh, sorry, I just heard this. Who's gonna win? Yeah,
Who's gonna win, and who would be your player of the game?
The Titans will win, and player of the game is Derrick Henry.
All right, what's the score?
I'll say 17-10.
17-10. All right. JJ, you still with me? JJ. JJ. All right. White Chocolate, you're up. Final score and player of the game.
I say 20-17 Tennessee, and the player of the game is Throckmorton.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, that's that would be hilarious.
Throckmorton probably won't be active.
Probably.
He's like a third string guy. Y'all got some serious Throckmorton lust on your hands.
Dude, I just don't understand why you cut.
I don't see why everybody runs to Throckmorton.
It's just you don't.
Wait, let me answer. Pickle. It's not that he was good or that he was a great player. It's that if he was bad, there were other people on the line that have been playing just as bad, if not worse. And why? But hold on. Okay, like you're talking about Bradley Bozeman, right? You're saying bench Bradley Bozeman and make a point. Show him and everybody else that level of play is not acceptable. Okay, well, you have been starting Throckmorton for the past 7 games in a row. And instead of demoting him, instead of benching him and making him a part of rotation, and you decide to cut the guy that is literally has the most cohesion with the offensive line out of anyone else. It's not like Chandler Zavala is going to come in and play better. It's not like Cade Mays is going to come in and play better. And by the way, they haven't come in and played better. So it's not like anyone loves Throckmorton. It's just they wanted to make a move to make it look like they were doing something about this bad offensive line. And Throckmorton was the only one that they could do something like that to and get away with it and not have a ton of dead money or be cutting someone that, you thought was going to be a big part of your O-line.
Who we should have cut. Hold on. Who we should have cut, because I think it's honestly getting a little outrageous. We killed Jonathan Mingo on here, but we give all this leeway to Bryce Young. I mean, like, what? Can we give them both a grace period? Like, I really mean that more so for Mingo, because the slander got to stop.
We have no choice.
Exactly. Like, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's
have
what I'm
to keep
saying.
Mingo.
I give all rookies 1 year.
But I'll say this though.
Everyone's been asked.
Everybody talks about how Frank Wright is holding back Bryce Young, but it could also be the same for Mingo and Terrence Marshall too. Is that the real problem, or do we just think they're just bums?
Well, and I said this yesterday on Spaces with Pickle. that to me, it just seems like there. No, you're fine. There's like a lot of laziness to the way that he runs his routes. Like obviously, there's rookie mistakes, and that's you're gonna have that. And yeah, you're right, JJ. Like we can't be out on this dude yet. Like he's gonna be here another, who knows, 2 or 3, maybe 4 years. You're obviously hoping that this dude's gonna turn on at some point. But a lot of his plays, it seems like an effort thing. Like he just doesn't give the type of effort that's required to him on these routes. And then you top it off with a lot of rookie receivers have been able to come into the NFL and have instant success. And it's hard to not judge him against those two.
I heard he was raw too. That he's not going to be the instant guy to come out and just.
He was raw.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Sean Jefferson for doing a terrible job this season. Another guy we thought was going to be a great coach. I want to bring this back real quick. Cody, you were talking about Calvin Throckmorton, or Kevin was. Dude, y'all know what Zavala's blocking grade this year overall is?
It's horrible. It's probably like 5.
7. It's a 7. He's ranked like 77 out of 79 interior offensive line.
He can't even break double digits. That's wild.
Yeah. So that's why it's not like Calvin Throckmorton. He's just a mid, like he's just one of those okay guys.
He's a backup.
And I'm willing to bet Throckmorton probably had a better grade than a 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I said it on Spaces yesterday. Cody was there. That I cannot cut down Jonathan Mingo at the very same time saying you got to forgive Bryce's mistakes because he's a rookie. I can't cut down DJ Johnson and say he sucks and he was a bust and look at him screw up when he was a 4th round pick.
3rd round.
Was he the 4th round or the 3rd round? And
Zavala was the 4th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got them confused. But anyway,
I
can't cut down neither one of them and say, but we got to be easy. Too many people across Panther fans are giving Bryce every single excuse in the world. Oh, you got to be easy on him. He's a rookie. He's learning. But all these other players suck. They're late round picks. In the natural form of the draft, the best players are supposed to be drafted in the 1st round. So therefore, Bryce should be farther ahead of his development as a rookie than all the other draft picks we've got. And that's just not been the case.
Every other rookie.
You can't.
I can
no longer accept. If I'm going to give Bryce the leeway of he's a rookie, he's going to make mistakes. I've got to give every single draft pick out after him the same respect and dignity in that formation, or it's entirely plausible. If I don't, it's entirely plausible that I'm not a Panther fan. I'm a Bryce Young fan. But you yourself have to make up your mind which one you are.
I think the one, I agree with everything that you said, but it's just we never hit on late round picks, and they're already playing bad. So it's like nobody's gonna expect any of these dudes to do something. And look, I said yesterday,
most people expect late round picks to be nothing.
But not for every team. Some teams find those guys in the later rounds
gems for a reason.
But even like DJ Johnson has played well the past 2 games in a row.
Hold on.
I'm not saying that he's great, JJ. I'm just saying the past 2 games.
No. I want to give you a fact. I want to give you a fact. Hold on. DaRon Bland has as many receiving touchdowns in Carolina Panther games than Terrence Marshall and Jonathan Mingo. All right, that's pathetic. Like
Jonathan Mingo hasn't found the end zone yet.
Yes, but that
Marshall has one time in his career,
and Jonathan,
and he was a 5th round pick. Like it just goes to show how bad our picks are.
Hold on. He went to the 5th round, so that means a bunch of other teams passed on him.
Exactly,
and a lot of rounds.
But at the same
time,
I'm
saying his production matches our picks production at least as many touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a great player. He was a gem.
I said it earlier.
I'm just saying we can't get a fucking gem to save our life. That's really
but you can do that in almost every draft class. Tyreek Hill,
and we can't get none. We can't get none. That's the problem.
We suck at drafting. Always
That's what I'm getting at.
And that's why, I agree with what Don said.
JJ, is when you draft a player.
And let's be honest, a lot of it's luck.
When you draft a player after the draft, how many fools, and I call everybody that. I'll call all subscribers to C3 Nation and everybody on this panel right now. I guarantee you, if you go a year from now, not a year from, if you go the day after the day of the draft, how many people going to be praising them picks of the draft? The day after the draft, how many?
Every single fan.
Well,
but also those guys also go to good coaches. You know, it's those gyms.
Right, and the spot that and the spot that you go right, but the spot that you go to, it matters. And like we do this exercise. Oh, we should have drafted this guy. Should have drafted this guy. But do we even have the coaching staff that would even know that they're a talent to be able to play them? The biggest example of this is Trey Smith. When the Panthers drafted a long snapper, the Chiefs drafted Trey Smith, and he's been an all-pro guard for him.
I would say Michael Parsons.
Would Matt Rhule or any of these coaching staffs, would they have even given Trey Smith an opportunity
I got a better
to play?
one. Would Matt Rhule play Michael Parsons the way he plays right now?
Oh, probably not.
Passed on him multiple times.
Yeah, but they also said yes to him. So
at the 6th round.
Yeah, they passed on 6 times.
But again,
y'all got stuck on more of the fact of like situation and player and the round taken. I'm just talking about the fact that we can't get some. There's some actual players that are just pretty good players. Like Brian Branch. A lot of people say he could have been a 1st-round pick. Well, the Lions got him in the 2nd round. He was a pretty good talent. And we just can't even do that. We can't get pretty quality good names who went to high schools or good the big name schools. We don't do that in the later rounds. We don't do that at all. And it's like we can't hit on anything. Forget about like the situation. These guys are just like lacking also as players. Like the guys we're playing. DJ Johnson's garbage, and we knew that day one. Come on,
bullshit.
like
bullshit.
No. You talk about people praising. Bro, everybody, Cody, didn't everybody not say DJ Johnson was a questionable pick at the time?
Yeah,
I liked it.
At the time, I was upset.
Said that. Nobody liked DJ Johnson. We knew he was
it.
I didn't even know who he was. And
they said he was raw with potential, but like, let's keep
I'm making a point to know a lot of these players. I had never heard of them.
Exactly.
Charles Johnson.
Cody, I remember draft night. You were just like, you were okay. Like you were just you felt underwhelmed. You weren't hating it.
And I was upset with Mingo too.
Exactly.
Mingo and Johnson.
I was too.
Yeah, I
did like the Mingo pick just because it was a wide receiver.
Yeah, but again, but we also knew this about DJ Johnson at the time. It was a panic pick. They panicked.
Exactly.
They panicked because they.
I would say the same thing with Mingo.
Yeah.
They traded away DJ Moore. They needed somebody.
Well, they were wanting to move back up into the 1st round for the defensive end that the Jets took this year. The guy that played at Iowa State, I don't remember his name.
Will McDonald.
Will McDonald. There were real reports that they wanted to do that, and then they didn't. Bro, how about we were on picking the game and we went off to a whole nother tangent, man.
A whole nother depressing mode.
Y'all just can't let me get out of here early.
Charles Johnson was a 3rd-round pick. His rookie year, he was inactive for the entire season, but the last 2 games. And the reason why he was inactive is because he wasn't that good as a rookie. But he made up for it after that. All I ask is understand just because a guy doesn't look Charles or DJ Johnson should not be playing this year. Just like Chandler Zavala should not be playing this year. And as it appears, Jonathan Mingo shouldn't be playing this year. This is because the GM is a moron. He's never had a quality draft by himself his entire fucking life. And he should not have that damn job.
Y'all notice that we don't even mention Jamie Robinson?
Yeah.
Nobody even cares enough to mention that dude.
No, he's just right along with everybody else.
I remember when everyone got so hyped in that space call about him when we drafted
and to
him.
be honest with you, JJ, I understand what you're saying, but please forgive me. We've been saying that for the last 25 years.
Yeah,
So I kind of move on from it after that because
no, it was just like you always talk about scheme and
25
shit
years. There are
and how it
guys
doesn't
when you
fit them, and
draft
I was
that you
just
look
like,
at.
man, you can't tell me there weren't just like good corners we could have just picked that were just
there
good
there
at
is
playing
every year.
football.
There are
Yeah,
players you
exactly.
can look that come from notable schools that you know at some time in the last 6 months before the draft, somebody had associated him with a first round pick. So you know they had some sort of talent. They're there in the third round, and you're screaming, get him. But no, we had to go get Will fucking Greer.
I feel
we
like
had to go get, instead of drafting a quality player, oh no, my God, we had to get some idiot named Deshaun Hall who don't know his ass from a hole.
I feel like
my
we've been
favorite
Go
one
on
recently.
and on. Even a lot of my Tennessee guys, we drafted a safety from Tennessee, and I'm like, what with the third round pick?
I feel
What were you gonna say, What were you gonna say, Kevin?
I feel like for like at least for the last 3 years we've been drafting for need instead of best player available.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% what we're doing. But hey, I'm gonna finish these final scores, man. JJ, what's your final score? And give me a player of the game. Doesn't matter what team.
I'm going to this game this Sunday, so shout out me.
Hell yeah.
Taking my soak of glory, but I'm tempted on who I should pick because it feels like if I pick the other team, we tend to win. But I do want to pick the Panthers. But
Your pick is not going to determine the outcome of the game.
I know. At the end of the day, I always come back to that, but I'm like, damn, I want to believe. But yeah. We'll just go with the Panthers. We'll win 19-16. I almost said Will Greer, but Will Levis will give us a few turnovers. I say the player of the game will be. Damn, we do not have many notable candidates. So I guess we'll go with Eddie Pinheiro. He'll win NFC Special Teams Player of the Week because he'll have 4 or 5 field goals. Man, my fault for dragging that out.
No,
you good, bro.
Hey, Pickle, give me your final score and the player of the game.
13-9, the Titans, and the player of the game will be Derrick Henry.
All right.
I almost said Will Levis just for spite. Just to see I get a rise out of something.
I know. Hey, y'all already know we saved the man for last. The homie, these ill skills. I'm gonna let you go, brother. What is your final score prediction and who is your player of the game, rather?
I don't know. To be different, I would go Derrick Henry like everybody else, but just to be different, I'll go DeAndre Johnson as player of the game. And then score, I really, really don't believe in this offense after losing Austin Corbett. I think it's going to be bad. I think we're going to even look less coherent than we have in the last 3 weeks, and that's hard to imagine. But I still think we accomplished those 13 points. We we find a way to get 1 touchdown. Probably the defense gets the touchdown for us, and then we're able to scrounge up 2 field goals for 13 for the Panthers. Let's go 17 for the Titans probably. They find a way to get 2 touchdowns, probably from a turnover from us because we've been good at that all season. But let me just point out real quick before we get out of here that the C3 Panthers podcast is for your Panthers opinion. If you don't like Bryce Young, that's fine. You can come on this podcast just like Al did earlier. Al's not a fan, and I understand, and I get it. And I understand all the reasons why he doesn't believe in Bryce. And maybe you don't believe in the coaching staff, and that's fine. And maybe you don't believe in the front office, and that's fine. And I know a lot of people want to cast all the blame on the owner, David Terpper, and that's fine too. That's what the Friday Free for All is here for. It's here for you to come on and voice your Panthers opinion on the C3 Panthers podcast. This is your show. It's for the fans and by the fans. And the one thing I won't do is blame the fans for your opinion. If you have your opinion, that's fine. I support you in what it is. I may not agree with you 100%, but I understand where you're coming from. This is a 1-9 team, and we appreciate all the support that comes out here in the spaces. And of course, here on the C3 Panthers podcast on the Friday free for all. It's been another great night with you guys, man. Really enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's watched the show and everybody that watches the show tomorrow. Thank you from the C3 Panthers podcast.
Hey, shout out to my man Don, always closing it out strong. We appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, bruh.
Hey man,
Come visit us on them spaces, boys. And ladies. We enjoy everybody that coming on in spaces. You're included, whether you make a comment and just listen, or whether you get on there and talk, because you don't know what you don't know what you're missing.
That's it. Right. That is it. We appreciate y'all for being a part of the C3 Friday Free for All, boys. I appreciate y'all for joining the show with me. We'll be back this Sunday for another post game show.
Go Bucks! As always, go Buckeyes.
Hey, go Tigers tomorrow, baby. Go. In fact, let me hold on.
Go Vols.
They gonna get buried again?
No, let me.
We gonna do it back to back.
No. Let me
back to back.
No, this is what y'all about to see tomorrow. Y'all about to get the angry Tigers, son. What's up?
Ranked again?
They're gonna get knocked right off.
No, you know what? I don't care if we're ranked or not. As long as we beat these sorry ass chickens tomorrow, bro, my college season's gonna be all right.
I heard a rumor that Clemson was
I was still hating on
Wolverine.
I heard a rumor that Clemson was going to change your mascot to Tyler the Kid.
Oh, Tyler from Spartanburg?
Yeah.
yeah. We might ought to, man. He's doing big things out there in Death Valley. But hey, man, look, this has been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All. My name is Cody Lashing. We'll be back this Sunday for the post game show. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, keep pounding.